Welcome, everyone. We are at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces for a sound check. Your Hobbs Eagles get ready to take on Oregon Mountain, next to last game of the district schedule. Of course, the Eagles winning over Clovis last week, and Oregon Mountain getting beaten pretty badly by Centennial here at the Field of Dreams. Ty Friend here, Sovereign with you as well, as we'll get ready for this kickoff here in just a few minutes. Pre-game show is starting in about 7 minutes or so. Just a pre-game sound check. Sovereign, pretty important game for the Eagles. Everybody's been talking about it. They need to win their last two games to hold that one of the top four seeds for the playoffs, to have that home game the second round, but also have a bye the first round. So they got to win out here. They got a tough game next week at home against Carlsbad, but got to start here with the win over Oregon Mountain.
Yes, man, you do. You definitely do. And I'm ready to see this game, just to see them, pull out and come out right and, push all the way through this season and everything like that, especially through this district. And, man, like you said, they got to come out here and play tonight. Can't let nothing easy go up or easy go away or let things pass over their head, but they got to be able to play tonight, and that's what I'm ready to see.
So in just a couple of minutes, about 6 or so minutes, we have the pregame show for you. Hobbs Eagles and Oregon Mountain here at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces. The pregame show starts around 6:45. Listen to us live, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, all three internet channels there, and, of course, on the radio at Cool 95.7. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the pregame. Welcome, everyone, to the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces. Ty Friend, along with Sovereign tonight, as your Hobbs Eagles take on the Organ Mountain Knights. Next to last game of the district schedule. Of course, next week, Eagles at home against Carlsbad for the finale. But, Sovereign, a very important game for the Eagles. Everybody's talking about the chances for them to have 1 through 4 in the top seeds. Currently sitting at number 3 in the Max Preps poll and doing well in the coaches poll as well. 2 wins, you're probably going to stay in the top 4, which means a bye in the first week of the playoffs. You lose one of these 2 games, and you're probably going to be dropped out of the top 4, which means you would have to play the first week of the playoffs. So definitely a good situation for the Eagles to be in. Now, Carlsbad's probably a very tough opponent next week. Oregon Mountain's having some problems at this point. Haven't got a win in district yet. Closest opportunity is a game they played a few weeks ago against Clovis, where they were up early 14-0 and ended up losing that ball game. A very close contest against the Wildcats. But at this point in time, the Eagles cannot, go out there and just take everything for granted. I mean, there's some tough games to finish up the season. And, of course, they've had some injuries. Aiden Gloom, for example, the linebacker, went out in the first quarter last week. We found out the last couple of days he has an ACL tear. He is out for the season. He was their top tackler going into last week's game with 91 tackles. Gavin McPherson also, one of the other guy with 91 tackles into last game. He might be out tonight with a shoulder injury. So your top 2 linebackers are out. But I should mention one thing. We're talking defense first because that's going to be critical with the stop of these quarterback that Oregon Mountain has. But we saw some great action from Caleb Blackman last week, the sophomore linebacker. He came in as a sub for Gloom and had 20 tackles to lead the team. So the sophomore is saying, hey, Coach, I'm going to be here. I'm going to help the squad as many playoff games as we need throughout the rest of the season and the regular season. But that's pretty cool for a sophomore to step up and do what he did.
Yes, man, it is, man, and I'm ready to see a lot of step-ups tonight, man. Even with the younger group of the team, those who's waiting on the sideline to be able to say, Coach, man, put me in. I'm ready for a varsity game. I'm ready to see them step up tonight. And also, again, like you said, Hobbs going to have to come out here with their head on and, not let up or, make this game feel like this is an easy game. We can do whatever we do, be able to come out here and still play football, still play hard, still go hard, and be able to pull all the way through this, this district season and everything like that. Because, I mean, again, like you said, to win these 2 games, man, it'll be good for them to be able to stay in the top 4. So, hey, come out here with your head on and play some good football.
And what a close game last week, especially in the first half. The Eagles were actually up by a field goal 17-14, but were down early 7-0. They let Clovis score first. They started off with a 46-yard pass play. It wasn't a touchdown, but it got them way into red zone territory. They eventually scored. Hobbs returned the favor with the touchdown. Clovis scored again to take the lead. Hobbs scored again for the tie. And then a couple of minutes left in the second quarter. Eagles got a long play down into red zone territory. It looked like the clock ran out in that quarter, but they got a timeout with 1 second left, enough to get Beatty in to kick the field goal and get the lead at halftime. We should also mention, too, Clovis dropped a sure touchdown pass, about a 30-some-yard throw to about the 5 or so yard line. Receiver wide open, right out of his numbers, and dropped it right on the turf. No defense anywhere near 15, 20 yards. That was a big change up there. Eagles, I talked to some of their coaches this week, and they breathed a sigh of relief after that play. But luckily, got down and got that field goal. After that, the Eagles romping. Again, they were up by 3 at the half, but they outscored Clovis 34-8 in the second half, and 151-22.
Yes, man, they definitely pulled through. At that second half and everything like that. Went up and got to it and was able to get them with a great score. And again, like you said, that open pass, man, that receiver, dropped and everything like that. This is something they don't want to do tonight. If Oregon Mountain, man, can come out here and throw great passes and got a great passing game, man, open passes like that cannot be available.
Junior Medrano, in terms of the passing game last week against Clovis, 11 of 16 for 142. Several receivers getting receptions in that game. Braddock Beatty had the most yard production, 4 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown. He's the one of only 2 receivers that scored. We got to see sophomore Addix Wheeler step in for a 23-yard pass play, which pretty cool for him, his first catch of the season. Several other guys, Adrian Moore got 2 for 25, Seamus Wright 2 for 14, and then a bunch of single catches for different receivers as well. So a total of 6 different guys catching passes. Now 142 is not shattering the charts or anything, but again, you always got the complement of the running game, which is actually more dominant in terms of yardage this season. Hobbs keeping the ground game going, very potent to the people like Seamus Wright and Hill, and the quarterback. Don't forget about him, Junior Medrano. We have 2,425 yards rushing this season, so that tells you compared to the passing game of 1,349. So definitely a big running game this year. But in terms of that game against Clovis, Medrano, 124 yards on the ground on 12 carries, so we're talking 10 a pop there. Great job there as well. Hill had 81 yards rushing, and Seamus Wright 74. Now, that's a neat problem to have. You got a lot of interchangeable parts in the running game. We had some injuries, of course. Seamus dealing with the ankle still, and Hill came off an injury a few weeks ago. But it's nice to have other options there in terms of the running game. But Eagles ended up with 313 rushing yards out of the 142 in the pass game for close to 500, 455 of offense. Although Clovis was not anything to sneeze at, 383. So they had a pretty good plan attack. The passing they did early, the second half was dismal, but the passing early got the Eagles kind of on their flat feet there and came out on the rebound. But still, a good victory against an arch rival. And, of course, that game always gets amped up with those two teams going against each other.
Yes, man. Coach definitely got a lot of advantage and a lot of great things in the backfield. With the running game, man, like you said, Madrano, man, great quarterback, man. He always, look towards the field and can always run it up the field as well. And then you got two great rushing backs in the back with Seamus and also DeMarcus. So, like you said, man, those numbers right there, are possible and believable because of the running game and the rushing game too as well. So, man, I want to be able to see more of it tonight and also more of the passing game too to see what the receivers can do because he do got some dependable receivers out there that can catch as well and make some great plays. So I'm ready to see it all around.
Back to the defense for just a minute. We talked about Caleb Blackman, the sophomore linebacker, coming in, subbing for Gloom in that game when he went down in the first quarter. They had 5 different guys with double-digit tackles, 20 for Blackman, 14 apiece for Mora coming out of the secondary, Robert Garcia as well from the secondary. Javen Hernandez, the safety, with 13, and Devin Ruiz also had 13. So got to have that kind of a team tackling mentality, which we did see out of those guys last week. The question is, with McPherson possibly out tonight, we already know that we've lost Gloom for the season, unfortunately. Those guys are going to have to continue to do what they do. This team is ranked in the top 4 right now, number 3 in the state, so they are a contender at this point, and everybody's got to put their body on the line.
Yes, most definitely. Like I said, you want to see a lot of people step up tonight, and usually sometimes when a player injured, it kind of gives that defense that fire to be able to step up and kind of play for them too as well. So I hope that fire will be brought out of them tonight, and I'm ready to see a lot of kids step up.
Now, in terms of this Oregon Mountain team, Jaden Gonzalez, the quarterback, we've seen a bunch of teams this year that we played against where their top rusher was the QB, and he is the same for Oregon Mountain. 82 carries, 464 yards. He has 6 of the 7 rushing touchdowns, so 90% of the scoring he does on the ground game. Hobbs will definitely have to have a target on him tonight.
Yes, man, definitely. Keep your eyes on the ball and keep your eyes on the prize because, again, like you said, you don't want to come out here and think it's an easy game and play around a little bit and jolly around the field. You still want to play good football and get things done.
National Anthem starting here at the Field of Dreams. We'll take a 60-second break, come back with more Hobbs Eagle football on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Okay, thank you. Welcome back to the Field of Dreams here at Las Cruces. Hobbs Eagle football getting ready to go against the Oregon Mountain Knights. Last year, the Eagles winning big, 50-6 over Oregon Mountain. That was at Watson Stadium. Eagles with 436 yards of total offense, almost doubling Oregon Mountain's 220 in that game. One guy that does return that is part of the offense for Oregon Mountain is their running back, and that is the Jones kid, Romeo Jones. He had 14 carries for 20 yards. It didn't do much damage as a youngster out there, but he is back this year. They did manage 133 rushing yards and 87 passing yards. They were 9 of 28 in the passing game last year against the Eagles. Hobbs managing a pretty balanced offense, 237 in the pass, 209 in the run, again for 436 in that contest. For the season, Junior Medrano, of course, the Hobbs Eagle quarterback, leads the rushing attack, 1,034 yards. He leads the team in rushing touchdowns with 10. DeMarcus Hill with 656 yards, 6 touchdowns, and Seamus Wright, 429 on the yardage and 6 touchdowns as well. So, but combining with those guys, you got 22 rushing touchdowns for the Eagles on the season. Definitely some guys that most defensive coordinators are not too excited to play against. Passing department, 1,349 yards, mostly at the arm of Junior Medrano. He has completed 60% of his passes and has thrown, in the terms of the touchdown numbers this season, looking at 18 total. Braddock Beatty leads the squad with 473 yards, 8 touchdowns. Justice French, 364 yards and 4 TDs. And Ortiz, of course, who's injured, he has 2 touchdowns and 262. But again, Beatty and French are kind of the two go-to guys. They're over 800 yards combined in the receptions and 12 touchdowns. And again, there's other receivers too. We mentioned a few from last week that came up, the Wheeler kid, and also we saw Zubia, was it 2 weeks ago, had his first catch of the season. So Coach likes to spread it out a little bit and to see who's going to be in the area that you need them. But then the running attack as well. We got running backs that come out of the backfield that can catch as well.
Yes, man, definitely. He definitely got some players out there, some younger guys that's willing to step up, willing to make some plays and get the job done. And so that's what you love to see. And I know Coach loves to see that too, to be able to know he got a variety of kids that he can be able to place in those positions to be able to make plays happen. And so, man, I'm ready to see it all tonight. And again, like I said, Ty, I'm ready to see some kids step up, having a couple, great players injured, unfortunately. But, it gives the other players a step up, able to make some plays and make some great things happen tonight. So I'm ready to see it all.
Yeah, Aiden Gloom and Gavin McPherson, the two linebackers, one for sure out Gloom with 92 tackles on the season and McPherson 91, a combined 183 of the Eagles tackles this season. So definitely not wanting to miss have those guys out of the game like they're going to be more than likely. And unfortunately, we got some people have to step up and fill some big shoes, and we saw Blackman doing that. But we also have kids like Mora, who has 75 tackles this season. He is currently in 3rd place on the leaderboard. Other guys have stepped up too. Robert Garcia, we mentioned, the secondary core. He has 74 tackles on the season. Hernandez coming out of the safety position at 69. And the Eagles have 49 tackles for loss. I think that's what you have to do against a team that has a rushing quarterback like we're going to see tonight, is get some penetration. Romeo Jones has got some speed too, that running back for him. So, but you got to do good angles. That's the issue. Don't let a lot of these teams like to go outside against the Eagles and don't do a lot of cutting back. But we got to make sure we get those outside angles blocked off there, push them back to the inside, and let the linebackers do some work for you.
And you're right, Ty. It's kind of like basketball a little bit. You want to be able to cut off the baseline. You want to be able to cut them off from going on that outside, because sometimes, again, they're bound to let a lot of people, run on the outside and be able to get that sprint on them to be able to cause first downs after first down. So if they can be able to cut that off tonight, be able to break down, and then with great D-line that they have on defense, man, I believe they get the job done and be able to make plays in that area. So hopefully they can do that tonight.
Jason Farmer giving me a little bit of touch-up here on some Hobbs Eagle numbers that would be very cool for milestones tonight. One of their big players, of course, Mackey from the defensive line. He needs 1 sack to break the season record. 8.5 is what he has now. 9 is the record, so exciting for him to have that opportunity. Mr. Beatty's next PAT kick, number 88, will break a tie with Enrique Ramirez for 2nd place on the all-time list. Junior Medrano, the quarterback, needs 83 total yards to pass Timmy Smith, former Washington Redskins Super Bowl champ, of course. 2,409 yards for him in 1981. That's 9th most in a single season for total offense. And then so he's going to try to move up to the leaderboard to 9. And then if he gets 202 yards, he'll pass Taron Bolton for 8th place, who's got 2,528. So, again, Medrano definitely wants to keep those offensive numbers going for the Hobbs Eagles. Eagles are 15-7 all-time against the Organ Mountain squad with a current 8-game winning streak. And last year we mentioned that 56-8 score, the win at Watson Stadium. Eagles will be returning wearing the white uniforms, black numbers, black helmets, and the kickoff coming from the Army Green Organ Mountain Knights. They'll send it down to the 5. It takes the roll to the 1, picked up by the Eagles, brought across the 5 in the right hash. They hand off with a starburst coming around the left side with the Justice French across the 15, near sideline left, 20, 25, 30, cuts back 35, back to the sideline 40, and throws his body down for a few more at the 43. So the starburst little flick coming deep inside the 5-yard line. The Eagles going to have some great field position with their first possession of the ball game.
Yes, man, it was a great return right there by French. Great return.
Yeah, he's definitely a go-to guy. Also one of the receivers, of course. Eagles currently sitting at number 3 in the Max Preps poll with that 6-2 record. Las Cruces number 1 and Cleveland number 2. If the playoffs were today, 5 of the district teams would make the playoffs. Las Cruces ranked 1, Hobbs 3, Centennial 4, who the Eagles beat, Carlsbad 10, and Alamogordo 12. 12 teams will make the 6A playoffs. Eagles have their first offensive set on the field, ready to go. Ready for the shotgun. Junior Medrano stays pocket, throws the curl route, caught at the 50, a spin move into Oregon Mountain territory on the near left sideline in front of the Knights bench. That looks like it's going to be good for 11 yards on the play as Adrian Moore got his fingers waiting for that football. Nice cutback on that curl towards the near left sideline.
And we know Adrian Moore can make some plays happen. You know, he's a guy that's skillful enough to play both sides of the ball. So him being out there, man, it's great to see.
Hobbs Eagles kind of dodging a bullet last week with a great start for Clovis, but now they're moving into Oregon Mountain territory. 1st and 10 from the 47. Left hash, shotgun Medrano, the split formation. Screen pass right to French. 45-40, far right sideline. Cuts, 35-30, 25, and gets thrown forward to the 23-yard line. That'll be another first down for the Eagles. Looks like about 24 for French. He only had 1 catch last week for 9, but he's definitely put an exclamation point on that one.
Yes, most definitely. I believe French, took that game a little harsh, but I believe he's going to come out here tonight and be able to show that he improve himself, that, man, he's a great receiver.
Already 2 first downs. Eagles have it at the 23 of Oregon Mountain. Twins left and right. Man in motion from right to left is Moore. Make that Beatty. Back to pass. 2-step drop from Medrano. Going to loft it down to the right corner of the end zone over the shoulder and bounces off the outside shoulder pad of his intended receiver near the back pylon there in the end zone. It's kind of just lofted it up with a little spiral action. The defender was kind of turned around that time, and Justice French went up as high as he could, but it just bounced off that side of that shoulder pad.
Yeah, it did, and great throw by Medrano. You know, sometimes as a former receiver, sometimes some of them balls sometimes be hard to catch, but man, it was a great throw and a great try by French to be able to catch it.
Eagles going to take a little bit more time. Look to the sideline to Coach Stevens. We should mention the head coach of Oregon Mountain is not in the game tonight. We were told last week he was ejected, Kenny Sanchez, so the assistant coaches have to take care of it. The handoff around the right end, stutter step, trying to cut back to line of scrimmage, cuts the middle, 20, 15, and drugged down at the 12-yard line. And that is Seamus Wright. He is very close to the first down. Needed to get to about the 12. We're going to see where they're going to mark it. It's very close. I think he has enough. Yep, exactly 10+ for Seamus Wright to move the chains for a 3rd time now. So that will be the 3rd first down for the Eagles. Here at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces, still scoreless early in the first quarter. Hobbs will send 2 receivers left and 2 to the right side. Back in shotgun as Medrano has Wright on his left shoulder behind him. Claps his hands once, turns and fires the screen to French again, right side. Tiptoeing up the sideline, 10-5, and is brought down right near the 5-yard line. So gets another 8 on the play, and boy, a couple screens to French already.
Yes, man, and they're moving up the field. I'm telling you, man, one thing about Coach, he does got some great, dependable receivers, and I'm ready to see some great things with the passing game tonight.
Eagles still waiting for the play call. They actually give him 7 on that one. So French with 2 catches for 31 yards, 42 complete total yards so far, 3 of 4 in the passing game for Medrano. Trips left, receiver right at the 6. Shotgun, back to pass, 3-step drop. Throws a hard one to the right goal line, but it's a zinger and bounces off the hands of the running back coming out of the backfield for the Eagles. And, boy, I'm sure he's kind of flinching those fingers just a little bit as he got zapped hard. I believe that was at DeMarcus Hill or Wright. No, it was Wright out there. Before he could get his head really turned around, that ball was already there, and it came through his fingers hard.
Yeah, and sometimes as a quarterback, you got to give a little time for the running back to get open, but, hey, it was a great throw.
Twins left, receiver right, 3rd down and 3. Delay handoff, coming up the middle, getting drugged by behind 5 and to the 2-yard line. That will be enough for the first down, and a couple extra on top of that. His shirt was being pulled from behind that time and was able to drag it for the first, and that was right, 5 yards for him, 2 carries for 15. 4 first downs quickly, and we're into this game at 9:44 left in the first quarter, so just over 3 minutes and already 3 first downs.
Yes, man, and one thing I love about this team, man, is that they know how to keep moving their feet once they get wrapped up.
Twins left and right, 1st and goal from the 2, shotgun Medrano, option left, here comes Wright, heading out to the far left, cuts it back up, and scores left of the end zone, just barreled through for the 2-yard touchdown run. The Eagles scoring quickly here in Las Cruces. 6-0 your score with 9:32 remaining here in the first. And Hobbs will get the crew out here. We mentioned that we want to see Mr. Beatty put this extra point through to move up in the charts for most PATs. No, they're going for 2. Wow. Shotgun from Medrano by himself in the backfield. He's going to set up with 2 receivers left and a slot, which looks like Beatty was lined up there. And the tee was left in the backfield. The Whitecap says you can't leave that in there if you're going to move up to a traditional set and not kick it. So they have to throw the rubber tee off to the Hobbs Eagles sideline. The official stopped action there. Eagles are going for the 2-point conversion.
And it seems like they got the secondary quarterback in the game.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. We're definitely going to be that. Yep, shotgun. Rolling right, McCool. He's going to throw it to the middle of the end zone, but overthrows his receiver, gets knocked out of his hands. Good slap of the ball by Donell Escudero, as it kind of lunged for it was Justice French. That thing was thrown pretty hard. And actually, that was DeMarcus Hill, I believe, middle of the end zone, trying to get his hands out there, but hard shot, incomplete. I'm kind of wondering why Beatty didn't kick the extra point. I mean, the PAT would put him into the charts that we talked about in the pregame.
Yeah, I guess Coach had a different plan. You know, they're known not to go for too much twos, and I believe giving the people the secondary a try to be able to make a touchdown and be able to get some playing time, it was pretty good. What would you have done?
I don't know. Well, we got plenty of game to do that, I guess, so we'll have to wait and see. We got 9:32 left first quarter. Hobbs up 6-0 over Oregon Mountain. Coming back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Hobbs Eagles already quickly ready to kick off here, leading 6-0 after a 2-yard rushing touchdown for Seamus Wright. They went for 2, did not get the pass to complete in the end zone, so no good on the PAT as Beatty gets ready to kick off from the 40. They were out there so quickly, the official's not ready to go, as one ref is on the Hobbs Eagles sideline talking to Coach Stevens. Not sure what that was all about. I know they stopped the action earlier because of the black kicking tee there was in the backfield, and Hobbs already lined up in their offense. Maybe he was kind of not too happy that they weren't just able to run the play and catch Oregon Mountain off guard there. But regardless, Eagles up 6-0, waiting for the kickoff from Beatty. And here it comes. He'll keep a little squib end over end. Short one. Drops to the 34. Touched by Oregon Mountain. And they fall on it quickly. Did not want to even take a risk on getting barreled over there as a return man for about a yard falling forward. I believe that might have been Jaden Gonzalez, the quarterback. Let me double check on that number. Yeah, I believe it was. So that will be 1st and 10 for Oregon Mountain, close to the 35-yard line, middle of the field.
And that was close right there. Man, Hobbs was almost there to grab that ball, but they fortunately got on it, and it's time for the offense to come out here on Oregon Mountain.
Oregon Mountain had their best offensive showing against Alamogordo earlier in the season with 320 yards, 169 pass, 151 run. Shotgun to Gonzalez, gives the handoff. Romeo Jones trying to bounce outside. He's wrapped up near the line of scrimmage, angling right. And taking him down with a nice bear hug was Joseph Reza. Looks like maybe forward progress to the line of scrimmage, not much more than that. So actually they're going to say maybe a half a yard. That's where we'll stop. 2nd down and a long 9.5 on the first handoff. 2nd down and 9. Going back to shotgun is Gonzalez. Double checking the running back there in just a second here. Twins left, receiver right. Go back with a draw play up the middle. No, Gonzalez kept it, pulled out of his gut, and goes ahead himself, the quarterback keeper. And he's going to get 5 on that one. Good fake on that, got me going. Gonzalez with a 5-yard rush. His first of the ball game. And makes it a 3rd down and about 4 yards. They're at the 41 of the Oregon Mountain squad.
Yeah, like you said earlier, man, this is somebody that you got to be able to keep your eye on, somebody that can be able to make some fakes and get up the field. So definitely the defense is going to have to break down and make some stops.
Trying to get their first district win of the season for Oregon Mountain, who currently is 0-5, 2-7 overall. Eagles at 6-2 and 3-1 in district. 3rd down along 3.5. Little I formation, hand out to the tailback up the middle, 40-45, and gets slung down in 1st down territory. 6-yard pickup. And that will move the chains for Oregon Mountain for the first time in the game. And that ball carrier that time was Osvaldo Aras. So 6 yards. 2 carries for 6 now, and that will be at the 47-yard line, still in more Organ Mountain territory. First down of the ball game. And they're taking some time in the huddle now as they break and come out with the receiver left and right. Whole ton of people in the backfield. 4 total. Technically 1 on the right slot, but he's way in the backfield. And 3 more back there as well. Shotgun. Give to the fullback. Angling left. Trying to get outside. Gets spun around as Aris. Nothing going on that one. Maybe a 2-yard loss. Eagles read that quickly and wrapping it up low on the legs to get some teammate help. Javen Hernandez. And they're going to give him a loss of 1 on that play.
And you know what? With the defensive line on Hobbs, man, with those guys right there in the gap, man, it's kind of hard to get past them a little bit, man. There's some great guys, man. They work as a team, and they make sure to get some sacks, and they make sure to get in there.
2nd down and 11 after a loss of 1. Ball at the 46-yard line of the Organ Mountain squad. Look like kind of a triple I stagger look here for the Organ Mountain team. They head off to the right side of the line and kind of just throwing his body forward. Short gain on the play, that picking up Alex Venegas. As looks like he's going to get ahead for about 2 yards. And that'll be Venegas' first carry of the ball game. Give him about 1 yard instead. So very short running plays. 3rd down and 9. Ball placed at the 48. Still shy of the mid-stripe here at the Field of Dreams. Clock to 6:30 left in the first. Hobbs up 6-0 after a 2-yard rushing touchdown from Seamus Wright. Trips left, receiver right. 2 in the backfield, quarterback and his tailback behind him. Back to pass, 3-step drop for Gonzalez, rolls left, throws a screen pass left side, volleyball to Avila. He's able to catch and advance it. Good hands on the football that time, picks up 7, does Avila for his first catch of the ball game. First pass as well for Organ Mountain. Brings up a 4th down and 3. It is in Hobbs territory now on the 46 on the left hash. So big call here. I'm not sure who's taking over the head coaching duties tonight. I mentioned Coach Sanchez out of this game. Had some issues in the Centennial contest. Was ejected from that one. 4th down and about 2.5. Got to get to the 43.5 of the Hobbs Eagles side of the field. A lot of movement in the backfield. Gonzalez, the quarterback, kind of moving around there. Twins left, receiver right. Go with the handoff up the gut and powering through, but they're going to meet him at the line of scrimmage with a big Hobbs Eagle front. There's no way he got anything on that one, right to the line, and the Eagles there to oblige him and put him to the turf. As coming in first for the Eagles, head down, was Joseph Reza, his name coming up twice in that series, and Avila gets nothing on the play. So a turnover on downs for Organ Mountain. Good stout defense for the Eagles to start this one off.
Yes, it is, man. And again, man, that great defensive line, man. It's kind of hard to get through there, but man, they got it. So offense back out.
Hurry up offense, 1st and 10 from the Eagle 45, leading 6-0. Man in motion left to right. They're going to go with the handoff on the reverse around the right end to Jaden Taylor. Saw him in some action last week on offense for the Eagles against Clovis. Able to stretch it out to the far right sideline. He's going to get forward for about 2 yards. So Taylor had seen that action last week. And back in action here as he went left to right around the end. Trips left, receivers to the right side. By himself in the backfield is Medrano. Waiting for the snap. Stays right in the pocket. Throws a little out route. Caught by French. About 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Looks like he gets 6 on that one. French on that far right sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. 3 catches for 37 yards. Making up for the only one he got attempted last week. I mean, you only could catch what's thrown to you, though, right?
That's right. That's right.
4 of 6 in the passing game. 3rd and 2 for the Eagles. Take and go as the quarterback breaking a tackle at the 45-40 and brought down at the 39. That is Mr. Medrano for the 1st down. Just needed 2 and got plenty more. Looks like 9 for Medrano to move the chains again. That's actually his first carry on the keeper there of the game, but the 5th first down for the Eagles. They got 4 on their first drive on that scoring with a 2-yard run for Rice for the right for the touchdown. 1st down and 10 now from the 38. Shotgun, Medrano. Handoff up the middle to right. He's trying to spin and backpedal across the 35 and is met by a wall of the Knight defense on that right hash. They're going to give him, looks like, 3 yards to that 35-yard line. But that wall coming through low on that and kind of blowing him back just a bit. Initial hit made for Organ Mountain by Chris Ibarra, the defensive lineman. So give 2 to Seamus. Who was that? That was Hill. Excuse me. Hill got 2 on that one. Shotgun Medrano fakes the handoff. He's going to fire with the trips left over the shoulder near the goal line, just barely out past the outstretched hands of Jaden Taylor. 1 yard across the goal line in the end zone. He beat his man with a nice, quick fade route down the middle of the field, kind of a seam look there, and incomplete, just about 3 yards ahead of his fingertips.
Man, but great throw, great throw by Medrano. And I'm seeing a lot of passing game tonight, man, and, that's what I love to see, a lot of good passing. So it seems like Medrano's getting his arm out there and getting the receivers to make sure they get open, they be able to catch a pass.
They're down and 7 from the 34-yard line of Organ Mountain. 3:43 left first quarter. Take it again. Medrano right side 30, 25, 20, 1 to beat, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Medrano for 34 yards. He got outside the right hash marks, and nobody touching him as he headed to the end zone for 34 and a score. So second rushing touchdown for the Eagles in this one. That's 2 carries for 43 and the 6 points for Medrano. And definitely as the mainstay of the rushing game for the Hobbs Eagles. Mentioned he was the leader in the pregame show in terms of the rush.
Man, great run by Medrano. That's a guy you have to keep your eye on. When he's gone, he's gone.
Now Beatty's going to actually get to attempt a PAT on this second scoring possession. The kick is up, and the kick is good. 3:36 left here in the first. Eagles up quick, 13-0 over Organ Mountain. We'll be back in 60 seconds on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, on the internet, and on the radio exclusively at Cool 95.7. Back in the Field of Dreams, the Hobbs Eagle kickoff. Return a couple of yards across the 25 down to the 29-yard line, where Organ Mountain will have their second possession of the game. Hobbs up 13-0 here in Las Cruces. We should mention that, of course, Braddock Beatty with that PAT has moved up to second all-time, 88 PATs for a career, and second on the all-time list, edging Enrique Ramirez. Congrats to him, and a lot more PATs hopefully to come. 13-0 Hobbs. It's Organ Mountain football at their own 28. Eagles have 4 on the front line. Shotgun. Fake the handoff does Gonzalez. He's going to tuck it, go to the right, then throws it the last second towards the near sideline and makes the catch out at the 45. That's going to be a 16, 17-yard pickup for the receiver. Just kind of lopped it out near the right sideline. 16 yards for Rio Rivera. The quarterback kind of just moved out there and thought about tucking and going, but he saw the man kind of wait for it. And Rivera's kind of a big kid, too, so kind of a big target to throw to, just senior. But that'll be a first down. 2 first downs in the game. They are 2 for 2 in the passing department for the Knights for 23 yards. First and goal, or first and 10, I should say, from the 47. Eagles got the defensive line jumping there. They didn't break the plane, so no flag on the play. Twins left and right. Shotgun to Gonzalez. Delay handoff up the middle, 50, 45 in Hobbs territory, 40 outside the right hash for the first down.
Man, that's the running back, man, got a great running game on Oregon, man, and the defense going to have to stop that, man. They love to run up the field. They run up the middle, so, man, you got to be able to handle that and be able to attack that.
17-yard pickup for Avila. That'll be the third first down, 2 in a row on this drive for Organ Mountain. Now at the Hobbs Eagle 38-yard line on the right hash. 3 minutes left first quarter. Eagles up 13-0. Trips left, receiver right. Back to shotgun. Goes Gonzalez. Has a man behind him. He'll turn and fire the screen pass to the left. The catch is made by Avila. Cuts up the left hash to the 35 and throws his body sliding close to that first down marker. They're going to say his knee went down just shy of the 30. So actually going to put him down at the 31-yard line. So he's going to get 8 on that one off the screen pass for Avila. That's his second catch of the game. 7 on that one, 2 for 14 total, 3 for 3 in the passing game for Organ Mountain for 30 yards. That'll be the second down, about 3 now at the Eagle 31. Another shotgun look with the slot right, give the ball up the middle on the draw play, cutting up the gut, and it's going to be a close rush here for a first down. We'll see if they're going to give it to him on that left hash. He just kind of plowed straight ahead. Needed to get 3. That was Alex Venegas. And they are moving the chains. 3-yard pickup for Venegas. And that'll be his second carry for 4 yards. 4th first down for the Knights. Getting some consistent movement of the football here with the running game picking up a little bit, Sovereign.
Yes, and as a defensive team, you don't want to let them get too much first downs because it seems like Organ Mountain, man, is going to the running game a lot and got a great running game.
1:55 left in the quarter. First quarter, 13-0 Eagles. Twins right, receiver left. Delay handoff, stutter step, heading outside and getting plowed down after a gain of 2. Eagles shut it down quickly on the outside as he was heading towards the Eagles sideline. First man on was Devin Ruiz, the linebacker. So not much going on for that one. Maybe about 2 yards. That's what they're going to give him on it. Double checking to see who had that. Interchanging a lot of running backs in there, and I believe that was Eris. So he gets 2. He's got 4 carries now for 7 yards. Second down and 8 from the Eagle 26.5. On the left hash, shotgun, back to pass is Gonzalez. 5-step drop, he's going to roll left, throw the out route, a short one inside the about the 22-yard line. Not much going there, maybe 3 to 4 yards on that quick shot to the far Eagle left sideline. Looks like the receiver a little bit hobbled after he made the catch. Not sure if he had a quick turn on the knee or what happened there. And that catch was complete to Osvaldo Eris. His first catch for 3 yards. They're 4 for 4 in the passing game now for 33.
And you see, it seems like they love to throw that dish out, from them short slants and them short routes and everything like that. And, again, from the previous game, we see that a lot of teams love to run. And we see that Organ Mountain, man, they love to run outside, run up the middle. And was there a flag on the play?
Oh, boy, late flag. Just barely getting it marked off. We'll see if it's 10 for a hold. Looked like he only took 5 off there. Maybe. Is there a legal lineup in the backfield, possibly 5 in the backfield? I think they only marked off 5 on that one. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 12.5. Ball marked at the 31-yard line. Trips right, receiver left. Shotgun coming for Gonzalez. Has one man behind him. 3-step drop. Dancing around. He's going to tuck, and now he's going to go with it. And he gets slid across the 30-yard line. Lost his balance. And not even back to the original line of scrimmage. So about 2.5 on the carry. Didn't really see much of an opening on that left side, and quarterback just slid in. They're going to actually give him way liberal spot on that one at the 29. So more like 4 yards. Wow, that is a very hefty spot.
It was a great play by the outside linebacker for moving his feet and be able to stop the quarterback, because that could have been a very open play for the quarterback to get up to the first down.
So ball at the 29-yard line of the Eagles. 2 carries for 9 yards for Gonzalez. 3rd down and 11. Clock to 29 seconds left here in the first. Hobbs up 13-0. The Whitecaps having a discussion with the line judge referee, head linesman. That's why the clock has stopped. Both teams are kind of looking over there to see what's going on. I don't see another flag down this time. And I don't know if one of the Hobbs Eagle coaching staff is asking a question here, but they were out by themselves. And it looks like they're going to restart the clock here with 28 seconds remaining. First quarter action here at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces. Ty Friend along with Sovereign Anthony. And now we're back to live action. Clock to 17. Going back to shotgun is Gonzalez with one man behind. 3-step drop, throwing the screen to the right side. The catch is made by Jones. Heads outside of the right and is thrown down face first to the turf to the 25. And he's going to get about 5 on that one as he was met face-to-face by Samuel Zimbardi, the linebacker. Romeo Jones on the screen right. Looks like about 4 yards for Jones. That'll end the quarter, and that'll also be one more play for Organ Mountain to try to get a first down. So Jones picks up the 4-yarder, and that's 5 for 5 passing for Organ Mountain. They'll have a 4th and about, looks like 7 or 8 to go to start the second quarter. 13-0 your Eagles at the end of one over Oregon Mountain. Next to last game of the district schedule. We'll come back with you on the Hobbs Eagle Network in 60. We start the second quarter. Your Hobbs Eagles leading Oregon Mountain 13-0. Kind of surprising. Oregon Mountain's had 5 for 5 passing so far. Last week, again, the big loss to Centennial, they had 5 interceptions in that ball game. It was a 56-8 final.
Wow. And it seems like they're moving up the field, but I guess they're going to kick a field goal right here.
Yeah, 32-yard line is where it'll be put down. That'll be a 42-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. So very head-scratching situation. Here it's blocked. The Eagles get their knees on it and rolls across the 40, and that will go down about the 43 as Hobbs getting a great charge at the ball that time. And the man that put his body right down on top of the football for the Eagles to get it to roll, too, Javen Hernandez. Again, he loves that safety position, but he is a dart that got through the line.
Yes, he did.
To keep that even from getting up in the air at all.
And thanks for the help of a teammate, too. We got Mora, Mora, he gets in there all the time, and then Hernandez, man, right there to be able to land on the ball. So, man, great teamwork right there.
So a turnover on the blocked field goal. That would have been a 42-yarder, though, so that's a pretty long distance one for high school football. That was Esteban Belmontes. Back to pass, rolling right, and tucking now Medrano across the 50, 45, right side 40, and he's going to be met by one more defender and then put down to the turf. He's got 20 yards on that carry. Finally wrapping him up for Oregon Mountain was Downell Escudero. So 20-yard pickup for the quarterback for the Eagles. They're going to go quick on this drive. He's got 3 carries for 63 yards already. And the Hobbs Eagles now with their 6th first down of the ball game. This is their 3rd possession. They're at the Oregon Mountain 37. Make it the 38. Twins left, receiver right, shotgun, split formation. Medrano going to hand to the left side to right. Zigzagging up the middle, 35-30, 25 to the right hash, 20. And thrown down by the helmet, face forward for the first down pickup. He's going to get 20 on that one as well for the Eagles to move the chains.
And that's one thing you got to love about, Seamus, that he's strategic when he runs the ball. Look for open holes, cuts up, and he's very strategic when he runs the ball. So that's a great thing about him.
4 carries for 37 yards. That was his long of 20. 7 first downs now for the Eagles. Hurry up offense at Oregon Mountain's 19 on the right hash. Give the ball around the left end now. There goes Hill. Trying to stretch it out. Cuts up the left hash to the 15 and brought down by the knees. And they have a stoppage here. I think there might have been a flag on the play. They're going to call a hold on the Eagles. That'll be a 10-yarder. And that's one thing we wanted to see some improvement in is get those handkerchiefs kept in the pocket of the officials. We had several games over 100 yards plus in terms of penalties. And that hasn't been an issue so far, but this is going to go back 10 on a hold.
Yeah, most definitely. We definitely want to keep that flag in the official's pocket. I know a lot of times through the previous game, that what delayed Hobbs every time was those penalties. And so hopefully we can clean up the mistakes, going towards and end of the season. So, man, hopefully we don't see no more tonight.
That'll back it up to the 29-yard line of Oregon Mountain. So the Eagles have a little bit of more room to deal with. Looks like 20 yards, 1st and 20 from the 29. Left hash, shotgun for Medrano. Very big delight. He's going to throw down the middle on the post route over this outstretched hands going high in the air that time. Braddock Beatty kind of tried to grab up on top of that ladder, but that thing would have gone about 8-9 feet ahead of him up top that time. And he had some guys coming with helmets down, too. You catch that one, and you're going to have a helmet through your chest probably.
Yeah, man, that right there will make you lose a lot of air, man. You don't want anything like that, especially for a receiver. You want to make sure to be cautious as passes like that.
Eagles are 4 of 8 in the passing game for 48 yards. Shotgun again to Medrano. Handoff to Seamus Wright, the tailback. Zigzag it again like he did in the last run. Did not make it quite to the 25. Got back some of the penalty yards. Looks like 4, hopefully on the forward progress to the 25. So Wright will pick up the 4 there. 41 yards on 5 carries for Seamus Wright. They'll mark it at the 34-yard line, make it the 26-yard line. Back to shotgun, twins right and left. Medrano going to roll right out of the shot. He's going to pump, throw it the out route towards the Oregon Mountain sideline. They're going to say he was out of bounds. That was Justice French at about the 15. Right on his shoulder that time, heading to the sideline near right was Ezekiel Gomez. And the officials quickly showed that he was too close to that sideline and didn't get a foot down like he needed to. Incomplete. Good effort, though, for French's to get those hands outstretched near the sideline. Going to be a 4th down situation. Eagles would, if they're going to try to kick this one, they bring Beatty out. So it's going to be put down at the 33-yard line, a 43-yard attempt, kind of close to what Oregon Mountain tried after a blocked kick attempt earlier that Javen Hernandez blocked down and got the fumble recovery for the Eagles. So this is going to be a 43-yarder, and we got a bunch of jumping going on. And might have a timeout before the snap. We're waiting to see what they got to call. Nope, delay a game. 5 yards, and that's not what you want on a 43-yard field goal. We're getting close to half the field on an attempt here at 48 now.
Yes, man, you definitely don't want that at this time. You want to be able to, have communication out there and be able to say, hey, do this, do that. And so, man, sometimes when stuff like that happen, it's a little bit of the lack of communication.
And we got personnel changing now, so I don't think Coach Stevens wants to try a 48-yarder. That'll bring it back to the 31. And we got a bunch of offensive players. Beatty will stand the game. He's a receiver, so he's going to go with the trips look on the right. One receiver left. In the backfield, running for shotgun is Medrano. 2-step drop, stays pocket. He'll roll right, tucks it at the 40 to the 35. There's a flag. 30, 25, 20 near sideline. 15, cuts back. 10, 5, zigzagging again into the end zone. But I think we're coming back, unfortunately. That was a 31-yard run going from left to right, then cut back to the middle for Medrano as he lured the defense in front of the Oregon Mountain sideline, close to the right side of the press box here. But I don't like where that flag came near that original start of the run, about the 31-yard line. Officials meeting here. That'll be a mark-off from where the actual foul happened. And we got another holding penalty. So now 3 penalties for 25 total right now. And basically, once you got your guy breaking outside, you throw your hands out there and grab a jersey in front of you, you're going to get the call. There's no question about it.
Yes, and at that point, you just kind of want to let go. Just, hey, my player's already running past me. It's no need to be able to put my hands on the opponent and just let my guy just run past me. And, again, a lot of penalties can be wasted plays, and you don't want to waste great plays like that, man, because it was a great run by Medrano.
They always talk about in the NFL, got beat by the feet. Once you get beat, you reach out and try to retaliate, you're usually going to get caught by the official, because especially when a big play like that. We saw what Medrano could do after he got across the line of scrimmage. He's got great field sense. He sees what's up ahead, uses his blockers, and got the gaps.
Yes, man, he does, man. He do it wisely and he do it greatly. And that's what you got to love about Medrano, man. And it's great seeing him play every time because as a quarterback, and especially as a scrambling quarterback, that's what you want to do, and he does it well. So it was a great run. Unfortunately, a flag, but a great run by Medrano.
They do call timeout. We'll keep it right here at the Field of Dreams. Hobbs up 13-0 with 10:03 left, second quarter. Of course, next week the Eagles have Carlsbad, who's fighting for a playoff spot. They're sitting at number 10. They do have number 1 Las Cruces this Friday, tomorrow. Las Cruces, of course, 8-0 record, so that would be a nice pickoff for Carlsbad. But they're going to be coming into that game next week with their, basically their playoffs on the line, so they're going to be a stout team the Eagles have to face there on Halloween night at Watson Stadium. Go to a 4th down situation for the Eagles back at the 41. Back to pass, Medrano is going to throw it to the left flat. No, it wasn't Medrano. That instead was Braddock Beatty. He rolled left and tried to throw it. They called a backward pass, though, picked up by Medrano about the 48. He runs it to the far left sideline, and we got a little bit of fisticuffs going on that far side. Flags are flying, but unfortunately, that's way short of the first down. They needed to get to the 9, and that ended up, let's see where they're going to mark it. Flags were flying, so I'm not sure whether they're going to tack on or what's going on that far left sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench.
Seemed like a couple, a confrontation a little bit, and that's something you don't want at this time, to be able to have one of your players that you need during the playoffs and stuff like that, to be able to get into a scuff or anything like that on the field, because remember, you can miss a game like that.
Correct. So wait to see what's going on here. About a 14-yard run it looks like it might tack it on for Hobbs here. The one official started to mark it off, but then the other one got the ball. Not sure which one of those guys is the umpire because now they're having a discussion. So original 14-yard pickup, but they needed to get to the 10, so they were short by about 15 yards. Now another discussion, 3 other officials getting together. It's definitely going to be a dead ball foul, which is most definitely going to be a 15-yard penalty. Now, that would probably be half the distance because it was within the 30 when that penalty was thrown. The flag was thrown, so it would be half the distance inside the 30 if it was dead ball foul. There's really not many dead ball fouls you can have that aren't 15-yard penalties here. Unsportsmanlike, unnecessary roughness, things of that nature. Still waiting. Boy, long discussion on the field for the officials. So 14 approximate there for Medrano on the backward pass. Now we're waiting to get a personal foul against Oregon Mountain. That will be a tack on. So 14, go ahead and give Medrano the 14. And I don't think that's enough for the first. Yeah, it will be. Maybe just barely, or maybe it's shy of that flag. We'll have to see, or the first down marker. That's not automatic first down. That was a 4th down. Nope, it will not be enough. But a 15-yard penalty, it's going to be short by about 2 yards. That will give the ball back to Oregon Mountain. Automatic first downs are only for roughing the passer, roughing the kicker, roughing the snapper, those type of calls, not on a personal foul, unsportsmanlike, roughness, stuff like that. So it's going to be Oregon Mountain's ball. Turnover on downs for the Eagles, although a 15-yard penalty for Oregon Mountain. They'll have it at their own 5. The quick snap to the tailback. He's met in the backfield, and a bunch of Hobbs Eagles in there quickly behind the line of scrimmage. Original Robert Garcia slamming his body in there. And he kind of held him up for just a second to get a bunch of other help. Actually, that was a quick snap to the actual quarterback that time, and that was Jaden Gonzalez. I don't think they give him any yards on the carry.
And you know what? This gives the defense an advantage to be able to, keep them right here in this pocket right here to push them back where the offense can come back and have a great advantage to score.
Actually, they started at the 11-yard line. That's where they are now on no gain on the play. 3 carries for 9 for Gonzalez. Clock to 9:15 left, second quarter. Hobbs up 13-0 over Oregon Mountain. Back to shotgun as Gonzalez, a split formation, 3-step drop near the goal line, dancing around in the pocket, flushed up the middle to the 10 on the run, and he slides into home plate. He did get a slide down, and then the flags are flying. I hope they're not going to say that he was targeted on the ground that time. When you slide underneath the linebackers like that, they really don't have time to put the brakes on. I'm not sure, but I didn't like where those flags were thrown.
Yes, man. From our point of view, it kind of looked like a horse collar, the way the defensive end grabbed him. But, hey, who knows?
Still waiting for the call here. Go ahead and give him 2 on the original carry. We're going to see. Looks like they're probably going to tack it on. Still haven't had a signal from the white cap. Here's they're waiting for that. Hobbs up 13-0. 9:01 left here in the second. Kind of a delay here to get the signal. Holding penalty. And then a horse collar. So you caught the second one. They're going to wash those out in replay. So go ahead and cancel off the Gonzalez 2-yard pickup. It's always kind of funny. They wash those plays out, and one of them is a holding penalty, which is 10 yards, and the horse collar is 15. So really, the horse collar is more deadly in terms of yardage, but they still say those are equal and cash them out there. So 2nd down and 10 from the 11-yard line. Oregon Mountain yet to score in this game, down by 13, and trying to get their first district win of the season. Currently sitting at 0-5. The Eagles at 3-1. They had wins. Oregon Mountain won 2 games this season against Deming and Mayfield. 2nd down and 10 from the 11. Twins left and right. Shotgun. And we got a bunch of jumping for the Hobbs Eagles right side of the defensive line. Well out ahead of the snap that time for the Eagles. Wait to see if they've been drawn off or not. Amron Wheeler was one of those guys for the Eagles on the right line. And Jeremiah Mackey. Looks like that's going to go against Hobbs for 5. And that's not the trend we want to see now. That's the 4th penalty for 30 yards.
Yes, man, you don't want to be able to do that. Again, like a coach would tell me, watch the ball. If you don't see the ball move, you don't move. And so, hey, that's what you want to do as a defensive team.
Also, as a receiver, too, on the offense. You can keep that peripheral vision on the football so you don't jump off. Twins left, receiver right, 2nd down and 5 from the 16. Shotgun Gonzalez, 3-step drop, throws a screen pass left behind his man. That might be a backward pass. Nope, they're going to call it incomplete instead. Looked like it's behind the helmet of the intended receiver that time, Alex Venegas. And you could just wait to see our corner for the Hobbs Eagles, actually linebacker Samuel Zimbardi, would just wait for him to pull that down. He had a beeline bullet right towards that receiver and would have probably flattened him. incomplete regardless. That's the first incomplete pass for Oregon Mountain. They are 5 of 6 in the passing game. That's after 5 INTs last week against Centennial. Twins left and right. Shotgun. Gonzalez at the 10. Gets the snap, heads up the right side, and gets flattened quickly. Tripped from behind on his ankles and pulled back by the Eagles' Joseph Reza. The linebacker gets him on a nice ankle sweep, but he falls forward for about 2 yards, does the quarterback. That's his 4th carry for 11 yards. But they got a lot to try to pick up here, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 4. Need to get to the 22, but it looks like they're putting up the white flag and bringing out the punt unit.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, Oregon Mountain couldn't get up the field and everything like that, so it was a great stop by the defense, and the defense been improving, man, especially with injured players on the defensive side, and so they're stepping up to be able to make plays happen.
Punter's at the about a little bit across the goal line to get the snap here for the punt. High snap, he had to jump for it. The punt from about the 3-yard line, and it's going to be a wobbler. Hits about the 50 and rolls into Eagle territory. Picked up on the far sideline at the 42 and slammed hard to the ground. Adrian Mora. Boy, that looked like a little bit of roughness going on there. Picked him up on the shoulder pads and flung him across the turf. Very close to being unnecessary roughness on that play. Didn't see much of a wrap-up attempt. You can tackle with your hands, but when you throw that extended kind of lifted throw like that, you're kind of getting close to that roughness. But they give him a return a couple of yards. Eagles will have it a good field position, Sovereign, at the 43.5.
Yes, hopefully they come out here and get up the field. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get up the field because of penalties on the last play. But most definitely they get up the field and be able to make a touchdown.
7:52 remaining, second quarter. Eagles up 13-0. All points in the first quarter. A 2-yard rushing touchdown for Seamus Wright, and Medrano a 34-yard run for a score. Twins left and right. Medrano 2-step drop into the shotgun. Tucks up the left hash, up across the 45, 50. Oregon Mountain territory, 40. Puts his head down and gets a couple extra for the first down. He's got 22 on that carry to the 35 for the Hobbs Eagles.
And you want to be able to keep your eye on Medrano. Man, he's a guy, man, don't expect for him to just throw the ball. You want to be able to have somebody right there to be able to watch out for the run because he will get up the field.
1 yard shy of the century mark already here in the first half, Sovereign. 99 yards. He has a long of 34, which was the touchdown. That's the Eagles' 8th first down of the contest. Twins left and right, shotgun from the 35, middle of the field. And waiting to get the snap, clapping his hands quite heavily. Junior Medrano then turns out of it and looks to the sideline for the call. Be very careful. Seamus Wright started clapping too. That could get some problems there for the Whitecap official. Too much action in the backfield. Now we got the flags. The back judge is calling the delay of game. So he's the guy that's in charge of way back in the deep secondary of Oregon Mountain. Too much time on the field, and that stoppage where the Eagles, the 2 backfield players at least, looked to the sideline. Just enough seconds went off to get a 5-yard penalty. Hobbs now with 5 penalties here in the first half for 35 yards and backs him up to the 40. Brings up a first down and 15, still middle of the field. 7:01 left in the second. Eagles by 13. Medrano wants shotgun with the trips left, receiver right. Fakes the handoff, tucks, tries to get up the middle, and is slung down from behind. Falls forward for about 2 yards. As he was picked up quite strongly that time and is tossed to the turf from the waist area. I believe that was the big kid on the front line there for, was that Jacques Salas, I believe. 2-yard pickup for Medrano. Like to have that one back. Trips left, receiver right. Roll left is Medrano. Wants to throw. Goes the out route. Caught by Taylor at the 33. And gets back across the original line of scrimmage. Looks like they'll give him 6. So 6 yards for Taylor and brings up a 3rd down and 7. Eagles are now 5 of 10 in the passing game. So Taylor's first catch. He had a rush for 2 yards earlier in this ball game. And Eagles now have a 3rd and 7 from the 32. Left hash in Oregon territory. Back to pass Medrano. Late draw. Handoff from the left into right. 30. Back to the hash left. 25. Spun around 20. 15. 10. 5. Second effort and a touchdown. That's 33 yards for Seamus Wright, and he bouncing off players. He's spinning and going to the rack for the score.
Way to keep moving your feet and way to be able to make plays out of that, you know. You got to give it to Seamus, man, the strategic running back, and that right there showed his skills and strategically to get in the end zone.
Second TD of the game on the ground. He had a 2-yarder in the first quarter, a 33-yarder there. And now it's time for Braddock Beatty to move up again, trying to get some more PATs added to his second place all-time on the PAT list. As we're waiting for that kick from Beatty. Good snap. Kick is up. And the kick is good. What is that, number 90, I believe, now on the chart for Beatty. 6:12 remaining, second quarter. Eagles extend the lead, 20-0 over Organ Mountain. Back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Eagles racking up their third touchdown of the game. Seamus Wright second for 33 yards, making it 20-0 with 6:12 left in the second quarter. As Eagles get ready to kick off, of course, Braddock Beatty, number 2 all-time on PATs. And here comes the kick. End over end. It'll be a short one, dropping at the 24, caught by Organ Mountain outside the right hash. Slide back to the left, though, behind the 25. Now the left hash, 30, and brought down to the 31 on a somersault. Has taken him out and kind of shoving him forward to make him go into that somersault motion there. Trying to double-check who that was for the Hobbs Eagles. Nice attack there by Robert Garcia. His name's coming up a few times tonight.
Yes, man, he's most definitely stepping up. And that's what I'm seeing tonight. I'm seeing a lot of, kids stepping up and everything and coming out here and making plays happen. So that's what I love to see on the field.
Organ Mountain will have the football at their own 31 on the left hash, trailing 20-0. They'll send the receiver left and right. Staggered I formation backfield. They hand off to the tailback up the gut and just powers through for a couple. Eagles get down low to take his knees out that time. They've interchanged a few different backs in there up to this point, and I believe that was Avia. Give Avia 2 yards. That'll be for Avia, his third carry for 19. A lot of people in on that play for the Eagles, getting down low first to Jeremiah Mackey. Mentioned he needed about a 1 sack in this game, and he'll be moving up the charts for the Hobbs Eagles. Second down and 9 for Organ Mountain at their own 33. Back to that triple I look in the backfield. They're going to go at the reverse, going from left to right. The flip out to Weir. The receiver around the 35, 40, right side, 45. Puts a head fake on, tries to get to the sideline, and is kind of corralled down there. They still get knocked back, but the forward progress a lot higher up the field than what he ended up with. He got dropped back to the 37, but I think they're giving a lot more than that. He needed to get 8 to the 41. We'll see what they give him on this one. Little reverse left to right, the receiver. I'm not sure if they're going to say he initiated the run backwards or he just was thrown back. I'm waiting to see the placement of the football. Don't see it yet. It's over there on the far sideline, but the officials have another discussion. We had a lot of these powwows here in the first half. I think they're talking to the back judge about where the progress was. They might move this one up. Maybe not. Looks like the side official are going to bring this over, not as much as I was expecting here. So they went ahead and gave it where the tackle was made. So about a 4-yard pickup, and timeout's going to be called. That was Weir, the receiver, on the reverse. So he'll get 4 on that one. And then the timeout call. So Organ Mountain going to talk about it. They definitely want to get some points on the scoreboard here, Sovereign, with a 20-0 deficit in the second quarter. Of course, they had a tough road to hoe last week, losing 54-8 to Centennial, the team the Eagles beat, and currently lead above them in the Max Preps Bowl. They were down 21-0 in the first quarter last week to Centennial, and we're down at the half 40-8. We're not going to be that big of a score, but Hobbs has a nice little cushion at this point.
Yes, they do. And again, Oregon, man, they want to be able to, make a play and make something happen, especially, being them 0-5 in the district. And so, again, the defense want to keep making stops and the offense want to keep pushing up on them. I mean, you don't want to let up. You want to be able to push hard. And, hey, man, you want to be able to score with a scoreboard like this.
In terms of their passing, they're 5 of 6 for 37. A lot of short stuff, nothing longer than 16. Most of the other ones were just single digits in terms of the receptions. And you were talking about that, the little screen passes to the sideline. Eagles been reading them pretty well, didn't give up a lot of yardage on that. But Organ Mountain just, I think, satisfied with moving the football. They've had 4 first downs here in the first half.
Yes, and I believe that's what they're going to keep on doing. When they see something kind of works a little bit, I believe they're going to keep going with it, and that's what I've been seeing tonight.
3rd down and 3 for the Oregon Mountain squad. They'll have it at the 38-yard line. As they'll come back out on the field with the trips left. No receivers right. In the backfield waiting for the shotgun. Jaden Gonzalez, the quarterback, has one man behind him. They're going to shift their formation just a bit. Running back moves to his left shoulder now. Good snap. Give the handoff on the angle right. Cross the 40. Spud 45 to the 50 into Hobbs territory for the 1st down. That'll be about 11 yards as a handoff to Avila. So 11 yards for Avila. That'll be a 1st down, the 5th of the game for Oregon Mountain. That's his 4th carry for a total of 30 yards.
And we're seeing Oregon, Oregon Mountain move up the field, good, but they quite just can't get to the end zone. But moving up the field and getting on 1st down, man, they're doing pretty good out there on the run game.
Of course, Eagles got the blocked field goal attempt for about 44 yards earlier in this game. Hernandez coming down on top of the football. That was really their only chance of scoring earlier in this game. 1st and 10 from the Eagle 49 to the right hash. Twins left and right. Shotgun coming back to Gonzalez. 3-step drop. Rolls left. Wanted to throw a screen. Tucks instead. Heads across the left hash. 50. 45 to the Eagles. 40. Tries to backpedal for a few more. And he's going to get about 9 to the 40-yard line, but then got a bear hug from behind by Javen Hernandez coming out of that deep secondary. Part of the chains are starting to move for the 1st down, and one put on the stop sign, so they only give him 9 on that one. He definitely wanted to throw that screen pass to the left side of the field, though.
Yes, man, and that's their go-tos a little bit. It's either going to be right or it's either going to be left. And so definitely for the outside linebacker, that is something to look out for because 9 times out of 10, a lot of times you can get a pick from that.
5 carries for 20 yards for Gonzalez, 4 a pop. 2nd down and 1 from the Hobbs Eagle 40. Left hash. Receiver left and right. All got 3 backers back there on the triple I. Go with reverse again to Ware. He wants to throw the flea flicker. He's going to bomb it down, but it's going to be short of his receiver who is down at the right side 5-yard line. Tried to come back. The ball was thrown short. The defender for the Eagles continued towards the end zone, so if he would have made that catch and came back and caught that wobbler, that might have been a tough one to bring down in terms of the defense for the Eagles. So kind of a nail-biter there, but a little bit of trickery, and it's not going to work. Incomplete for Oregon Mountain.
And as a safety, you want to be able to watch out for balls like that because they can be jackpots for you. When balls is up in the air like that, it's easy for you to be able to grab. So, man, unfortunately the play was incomplete, but you want to be able to watch out as a defense safety.
Leo Hawk as the defender on that one, but he was kind of wondering whether that was going to still be a reverse, and instead he stopped and threw. 3rd and 1. Ball handed off to the right side, breaking down hard and putting his helmet down for the 1st down. That will be a 2-yard pickup, and kind of like a battering ram that time, straight forward. And getting the 1st down was Avila for 2 yards. He's got 32 on the ground on 5 carries. And that'll be the 6th 1st down for Oregon Mountain. Now, they have been moving the football, but are not getting into the red zone even once on these drives they've had so far.
And you know what? And that's their problem a little bit, just getting into that red zone. But, again, they're doing a lot of great things moving up the field, running up the middle and throwing those out passes. So, hopefully, if they can make a stop like that, the defense, then they can be able to stop them.
Yeah, Oregon Mountain just not moving the scoreboard. 20-0 with 2:50 left for the Hobbs Eagles. Shotgun to Gonzalez. He wants to run, puts his head down and gets close to the 30, and now he's brought back in the backfield as a boy churning those legs and driving him back hard. The train, Mike Meredith, boy. Talk about a big kid using those legs like pistons, 6'2", 330. Had initial 2 or 3 yard pickup, and then Meredith made sure you're not going any further.
Yes, man. With a guy like that, you want to kind of be afraid of him, man, and him moving his feet and coming at you. Hey, as a running back, man, I don't know. I'll be afraid a little bit, but he gets in there and he makes a play. Yeah,
that's one of the most versatile defensive linemen I've seen. I mean, this year he definitely is going to put a lot of exertion on that line for your defensive front. 2nd down and 8 now from the 36 of the Eagles. Oregon Mountain football down by 20 with 2 minutes remaining. 3 guys in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Rolling left is Gonzalez. Throws the out route. It's intercepted at the 35, 40, 45, 50. Into Oregon Mountain territory down to the 42. Pickoff and return for the Hobbs Eagles. And they'll get it into Oregon Mountain territory. And the man with the hands, it was just wait for that ball to come to his fingertips and take off with it. It was Caleb Blackman, the sophomore linebacker who came in last week for Gloom that went down with the ACL. He wasn't the most nimble return man after the pick, but he definitely got up the field to get the Eagles some good field position and a chance to put some more points on the scoreboard here in the 2nd quarter. Do we have a flag down there, Sovereign?
Yes, I believe one of the officials, they said something. I don't know if they were saying the play didn't go right. It wasn't no interception, but I don't know. It looked like the offense on Hobbs is getting ready to come out there, so I guess they're going to let it slide and let it pass.
42-yard line into Oregon Mountain territory. Definitely the INT is going to stand. Officials keep looking at the turf. I thought maybe they lost something down there. I just see an official picking up something at the 45, well behind the INT return. I think they do got a flag, maybe a block in the back. Haven't seen the signal. They're giving it to the Eagles regardless, and they're backing it up. So probably a legal hand use there, legal use of the hands, possibly a block in the back. We'll see how much they mark off here, give us a clue. They're going to mark it from the 44. INT will stand. The officials started marching it, and then he was called back from another ref behind him. Boy, we had a lot of delays here in the first half with just making sure where the ball needs to be placed. They're going to call in the Whitecap now. So a three-man powwow in the middle of the field. 20-0 your Eagles. 1:52 left here in the second. Still didn't catch the signal, and that will definitely determine what the mark-off is. Usually on those returns. Wait a second. Now they're going forward for the Eagles. I wish we could get this. Here we go. I hope the now we got a coach from Oregon Mountain come over to get the Whitecaps' attention. Is that 15 yards marked off, or they just? Or now they're actually looks like they're going back to where it originally was on the return for after the interception. I just missed the signal from the official. So it's going to be Hobbs football. We'll just say that from the 41 where they ended up to begin with. After the INT, Blackman picking it off, the sophomore for the Eagles, the linebacker. Twins left and right for the Eagles. Shotgun coming in for Madrano. Two-step drop, steps up pocket. He'll tuck 40, right hash 35, 30, 25, 20 to the near right sideline, 15, 10. Runs out of bounds at the 10-yard line. From the 41 down to the 10, 31 yards for the quarterback, Junior Madrano. That's his second longest run from scrimmage. He had a 34-yard touchdown run in the first quarter as he continues to rack up over a century mark on the ground in this one. That is the 9th first down for the Eagles, knocking on the door again with 1:43 left at the 12 of Oregon Mountain.
Man, definitely the way Madrano is running tonight, man, he's definitely going to hit the century mark to be able to make a great statement out here.
133 yards. He's already hit that century mark, and he's going to add to it. Man in motion, Beatty right to left of trips. He's going to throw the ball to the other side. Madrano over the shoulder, and boy, a little juggle action near the back right pylon. Almost pulling it down was Justice French. I don't think he thought the ball was going to come down to his hands. He's kind of stretching out, then realized it came closer to his body and tried to get his fingertips underneath it. And his head was going straight forward in the back of the end zone. Just couldn't get the grasp he wanted. He had the defender on his backside that time. Nice breakout for French, but unfortunately incomplete. Eagles are 5 of 11 in the passing game. Hurry up offense. Second down and 10 from the 11. Shotgun. Madrano stays pocket. He tries to throw it left corner of the end zone. Beatty came from the right side deep to the left corner of the end zone, kind of sweeping across. That was overthrown to the back left pylon. So Eagles trying to use that whole end zone to kind of loft him out down there. Incomplete.
And you know what? I love that he's trying to get it to his receivers and everything, and get into the passing game, because we know, unfortunately, from the previous game, the passing game was thrown a little bit, but it was more of the running game. So to try to get his receivers the ball is a great thing.
Eagles have thrown for 54 yards so far on 5 catches. Third down and 10 from the 11. In the red zone, trips left, receiver right. They throw the screen left. Dangerous throw. Beatty comes back to get it from the 15. Tries to cut up the left hash and is brought to the 10. Maybe more. They're giving him forward progress. Looks like that will be a total of 4 yards for Beatty. And the ball gets knocked around. The officials trying to track it down. I think I might have seen a flag. These flags have been very hard to see. There's a multicolored turf here, kind of a lime green and a dark green, so you have to really squint to see the penalty markers. I think we got a foul on the Eagles here. It would have been a 4-yard reception off the screen. Madrano kind of lofted that deep in the left side of the backfield there, and no defenders reacted to it. Fortunately, that could have been a pick 6.
It could have been. You know, unfortunately, it worked in their favor for it to not happen. But, yeah, you're right. It could have been a pick 6.
That's a holding penalty, it looks like, against the Eagles. They got 45 yards on handkerchiefs, a total of 6 penalties, and that'll back them up to the 21-yard line. So a little bit more distance to work with. Third down and 20 now. They could get a first down about the 1.5-yard line, but I think Eagles more looking at the scoring that they'd like to get here, up by 20-0 with 1:22 left in the second. Timeout's called. We'll keep it right here. Of course, next Friday night, the Eagles will be at home at Watson Stadium, a Halloween affair against the Carlsbad Cavemen. Cavemen have number 1 Las Cruces tomorrow. I believe that's a home game for the Cavemen, but Las Cruces 8-0 and currently number 1 on the Max Preps poll.
Yes, man, it's definitely going to be a game over there, and definitely a game to be able to see what the end result's going to look like, to see what the Caveman is going to do to be able to come home to Hobbs next week.
If the 4 seeds at the top of the chart right now will be the same as what they're going to go with, look, Las Cruces, Cleveland, Hobbs, and Centennial would be the top 4. But, of course, 2 games left for all teams. Eagles about a half a game left in this game, and then another one next week. Very important as well. Trips right, receiver left. They're down and 20 from the 21. Shotgun by himself. Medrano going to roll right, puts on the brakes. He's going to throw on the run, throws it right corner of the end zone. Trying to get up high and not able to come down with it. Justice French. He had a couple of guys on him there, double coverage, as he's trying to go between Ezekiel Gomez and Jayshon Caldwell. And the Eagles really working those sides of the end zone once again. That was kind of more of a shallow pass about 3 yards into the right end zone. But still, I don't think he got his head complete, turned around on the swivel to make the catch.
Yes, most definitely. It was a great look by Medrano, great throw, but unfortunately his head wasn't turned around about just to be able to see that pass, but great throw by Medrano.
And I'm not sure what's happening here. The official, they're going to bring the field goal unit in. Beatty, the snap will be to the 28-yard line, a 38-yard attempt for Braddock Beatty. And the hold man for the Eagles, of course, Conlon McCool. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and the kick end over end, and good inside the right upright. 38-yarder for Mr. Beatty, and the Eagles extend their lead to 23. 1:09 left, second quarter. We're back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Clear.
Thirty-eight-yard field goal for Braddock Beatty. Eagles lead 23-0, 1:09 left here in the second. Eagles trying to get that district record of 4-1. The win would be 7-2 overall. Oregon Mountain sitting at 2-7 and 0-5 in the district. And I believe this is the last game of the season for Oregon Mountain, too. They've already played all their other games, so probably not a playoff season for them. But the Eagles will be kicking off now from the 40. As here comes Beatty once again. Actually, no, I think somebody else has kicked off for the Eagles. We'll double check who that is. Picked up at the 33, and a big scrum pile. Almost looked like they were trying to run a starburst out of that one, and about a 2-yard return for Oregon Mountain. The kicker that time for the Eagles was Jaden Taylor, getting his first chance to do that for the Eagles. And it will be Oregon Mountain football, decent field position. But they only got 105 to work with here in the second, 23-0 Hobbs. Eagles on an 8-game winning streak in this series. Ball's placed at the 38-yard line of the Knights. Somebody threw a towel late to one of the Oregon Mountain players in the back. We said, what the heck he did that for? So he had to throw it behind him real quick. Osvaldo Aris, the running back. Twins left and right, back to pass. Gonzalez, 3-step drop. Steps up in the pocket, throws a high out route, and a nice slam in the back to cause that ball to come out of the fingertips of the receiver who was high in the air. Talk about a great job of coverage there. Robert Garcia let the receiver get up in the air, and then right in his back between the numbers that caused the ball to cough out of the fingertips. Incomplete as they try to get that over to Ware on the near left sideline.
And, that's how you cover as a corner. You want to be able to stay up on your receiver and be able to make plays like that. So, great play by Garcia.
Knights are now 5 of 8 in the passing game. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Shotgun again to Gonzalez. By himself in the backfield. Rolls left. Throws another out route too far into the Knights sideline on the left. Once again trying to get it to Ware at the 40. That would only been about a 2-yard pickup. Not much going on there. Eagles gave him a little bit of a cushion that time, but no threat. Incomplete. So they've had 0 for 2 in the last 2 passing attempts. 3rd down and 10 from the 38. Clock stop with the incomplete pass with 53 seconds left. A little bit more of a distance in this game compared to last week. Eagles had to kick a field goal with 1 second left in the second to be up on Clovis 17-14 at the half.
Yes, most definitely. They definitely been moving up the field this game and scoring and making great plays, so that's what you want to see.
Trips right, receiver left. Shotgun for Gonzalez, has one back with him. 3-step drop, rolls left, throws a quick screen left, caught at the 35, 40 near left sideline, 50, and pushed out of bounds. That will be a 12-yard pickup as getting the first down on the screen pass was Osvaldo Ares. 10 yards for him. And that will be a first down, 7th first down of the ball game. They're now 6 of 10 in the passing game. Move the chains to the 50-yard line. Right at midfield with 47 seconds. Did get out of bounds, too. So they got the clock stopped. 2 receivers head right, 2 to the left side. Twin looks both ways. 2 in the backfield, including Gonzalez and his running back on the left shoulder. 2-step drop, shotgun, pump fake, rolls left. Gonzalez going to throw on the run. Heaves it down the near left sideline. Short, but caught by Ware at the 15. That'll be a first down and then some. 33 yards for Ware as he came back to catch the football. Nice job of watching that ball up in the air.
Yes, man. Great catch by the receiver on Organ Mountain. And again, as the defensive side, this is something that you do not want to let go on, especially as a corner. When a ball goes in the sky like that, you want to be able to have your eyes up in there as well as the receiver.
And you kind of get going too fast down the field and realize I got too much of a gap, but that ball is short. Wasn't the best pass in the world. Then you're going to give him a chance to cut up the field and get some extra yardage, which happened there. Did drag a guy with him for the first down. 8 first downs. We'll take a quick timeout. Hobbs 23. Organ Mountain 0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. Back live here in Las Cruces, the Field of Dreams. Ty Friend, Sovereign Anthony with you as your Hobbs Eagles lead 23-0. But Organ Mountain knocking on the door. This is their first red zone appearance, Sovereign.
Yes, man, you definitely don't want to let them get close to the red zone.
Trips right, receiver left from the 17. They're going to air it out to the left corner of the end zone. Ball gets juggled on the near left sideline in the end zone. Incomplete. I believe that was Ware again. Got kind of sandwiched in between 2 defenders that time. Coming back to help on that one was Devin Ruiz, a linebacker. So he really had to get backpedaling there to help out near the goal line. Actually was extended to the end zone a couple of yards. Also back the safety for the Eagles to help was Javen Hernandez, but incomplete. They're 7 of 12 in the passing game. 27 seconds left. The incomplete pass stopped the clock. Ball's at the 17-yard line of the Eagles, left hash. Organ Mountain football. Twins left and right. Gonzalez signals to his back behind him with his hands. 2-step drop. Stepping up as Gonzalez was a keeper across the 15, puts his head down to the 14-yard line. They'll stop the clock on the timeout there. See how much you're going to give him on this one. At least 5, maybe 6. Waiting to see where they're placing the football here. Looks like 5 yards for Gonzalez. Clock is stopped on the timeout. 27 yards on the ground on 7 carries for Gonzalez, the quarterback. We mentioned coming into this game, he is the leading rusher on the team, came in with 464 yards out of the 1,157, so getting kind of close to the 50% mark in terms of rushing offense. We've seen a couple of teams that we've seen with the quarterback stepping up as one of their top rushers, so Eagles have had a lot of practice against running games these last few weeks.
Yeah, most definitely, and you've been seeing that through all the previous games that they had, and so that's just something they're going to keep their eye on and be able to make stops and make attacks on because, again, you got a quarterback that can be able to get open, be able to, run up the field and also throw a pass, so you want to be able to stop that.
After the timeout, both teams back out on the field. 3rd down and 7 for Organ Mountain at the Eagle 14-yard line, left hash. Twins left and right for the receiving corps. Shotgun coming. Gonzalez, 2-step drop, steps up and throws down the middle, and a seam route, but overthrows his receiver. Ware was caught in the middle of the end zone. The ball sails through the back line, and I believe Hernandez was a guy that kind of stepped up with a double team in that deep secondary, helping out with one of his linebackers there, and took a pop on Ware. Kind of got stuck in the middle of that end zone in quicksand.
Yes, and if you were Organ Mountain and you were losing opponents right now, would you want to kick the field goal or would you go for it?
Oh, no, they already got one blocked. I mean, that already gives them a heads up that the Eagles are going to try to get through there. Hobbs definitely wants to keep a scoreless game at halftime, so are they going for it? Yes, they are. Keep seeing a signal. I think we got the quarterback Gonzalez signaling to his tailback there. I might be wrong, though. Trips right, receiver left, two-step drop. He's going to air it to the left corner of the end zone, jumping high in the air. Weir backpedals, and he comes down with a foot inbounds. That'll be a touchdown, and that's 14 yards to Weir. Kind of backpedaled on that near left sideline of the end zone. Defender got backed off too much, and that time we paid for it.
Yes, man, that's what you do not want to happen as a corner. You want to be able to stay up on your man and make sure he don't get nothing in your perimeter. So, hey, unfortunately, Oregon Mountain scored.
That's his second catch of the game, this one for a touchdown. He has 47 yards on receptions. That is the 8th reception of the game for Oregon Mountain. 23-6. They are down by 17. And got a delay here. I'm not sure what's going on. Referee Whitecap's kind of walking around here. Both teams are kind of waiting to see what the issue is. The points are still on the scoreboard. There's no review. It looks like one of the coaches for Oregon Mountain is talking to the official here. Oh, there was a flag, I guess. They're pointing towards Oregon Mountain. Now, if that's a personal – actually, if it's a personal foul, dead ball, Hobbs could take it on the PAT or on the kickoff. It looked like they pointed towards Oregon Mountain. The flag is being thrown back onto the field here. It was stuck on the sideline for some reason. It looks like they went ahead and called the touchdown, so it had to have been a dead ball because if it was during a live ball against Oregon Mountain, it would have been penalty against the home team. So they'll get a chance for the PAT. Again, 23-6, first score of the game with only 10 seconds left in the second quarter. Is that deflating the balloon of the Eagles, do you think?
Yes, man, a little bit. It kind of is.
They're going to go for the two-point conversion. Gonzalez back in shotgun, fakes the handoff. He's going to roll left, then backpedals, throws a pass toward the goal line. It's knocked down by the Eagles, getting high in the air to swat at it. Boy, Jamin Hernandez always seems to be in the right place at the right time, and that time he kind of volleyballed it away from the receiver who had no chance to come down with that one.
Most definitely. He always there right there at the right place.
Incomplete, and that will end the scoring opportunity there on that drive for Oregon Mountain, although they do get on the scoreboard. 10 seconds left here in the second quarter. Eagles still lead 23-6. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Get ready for the Hobbs Eagle kick return. Stay with us. (23-6), your Hobbs Eagles lead with 10 seconds left second quarter, but Oregon Mountain just scoring off a 14-yard pass play from Gonzalez to Weir. Did not get the two-point conversion, and Eagles getting one last chance. That was a 15-yard penalty on the dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct, 15-yarder against Oregon Mountain. That is their third penalty of the first half for 35 yards, so they'll kick off from their 25. Giving the Eagles a little bit more room to work with here and a chance maybe to score before the end of this first half. Love to see a big run back for the Eagles. They got one back deep to the 20. And here comes the kick for Oregon Mountain. Keep a high one, end over end. Backpedaling, catch by Taylor at the 20 up the middle. Starburst handoff. Coming around the left side is French to the 30, far left sideline, 35, 40, 45, 50 in Oregon Mountain territory, 40, 30, 25, 1 to beat, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Justice French. Got the ball around the 25-yard line approximately, 75-yard return, and that actually runs out the clock here in the second quarter. Unbelievable.
Yes, way to run by French. Way to run. That's what you want to do. And you got to be able to clap it up for the blockers, too. The blockers made that gap open for him and be able to push the opponent back for him to be able to get to the end zone. So, love it. Great touchdown by French.
Hobbs Eagles kind of mad that Oregon Mountain able to get on the scoreboard and makes them pay on the kick return. And we'll have to get the check on the actual yardage on that. It was a little starburst look there. So with the handoff coming to French going from right to left behind the handoff scrum. And there's Beatty to come on to add to his second place showing here in PATs for career extra points. Be kicking from the 10, of course. Good snap. Held down, and the kick is up, and it is good. That'll be the half here as your Hobbs Eagles up by 24. 30-6 over Oregon Mountain. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with the Hobbs Eagle halftime show live at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces. Stay with us. Welcome back to halftime here at the Field of Dreams at Las Cruces. Thursday night football as your Hobbs Eagles lead 30-6 over Organ Mountain. Ty Brand and Sovereign Anthony with you. Next to last game of the district schedule. Of course, Eagles opening up Watson Stadium next week for the Halloween affair against Carlsbad to finish up their season schedule. Another critical game for the Eagles. Looks like this one in hand tonight, up by 24. It took all the way down to 10 seconds for this Organ Mountain team to score on a pass play, but the Eagles returned that 75-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Justice French to kind of get a little bit of icing on the cake before halftime.
Yes, man, they most definitely making some great plays before the half came about. A great return by French, and again, hey, unfortunately, Organ Mountain got a score, but man, Hobbs been moving up the field. Man, we've been seeing some great yards and some great runs by Seamus and also Madrano, and man, they just been moving up the ball. So I love to see what Hobbs is doing right now.
Of course, some good defensive plays as well. Blocked field goal by Javen Hernandez, and Blackman, the sophomore linebacker, had an interception and got into Organ Mountain territory after picking the ball off to the 41-yard line for the Eagles, too. So nice to see those two guys stepping up. And a lot of plays for Hernandez, too, on some passes and other situations going on. We've seen Meredith with a big play in this first half, a couple other defensive players as well. Let's look at the offense first, though, for the Organ Mountain home team here at the Field of Dreams. Their top rusher right now is Avila, 5 carries for 32. His long was 17. Gonzalez, the quarterback, had 7 carries for 27. Eris, 4 for 7. Vargas, 2 for 4, and Weir, the receiver, on a reverse, 1 for 4. So they've had 5 different rushers so far, 114 yards on the ground, have not scored a rushing touchdown in the first half. Kind of surprised at Gonzalez's lower numbers, 7 for 27, the quarterback. He has not had a double-digit run, but I guess you could also credit the Hobbs Eagle defense for making sure that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, most definitely. That defensive line, man, and you got those outside linebackers that have been stepping up, that's been putting pressure on him. But again, man, he's been doing good of throwing those side passes, and I've seen they've been running a lot. So, unfortunately, he really can't do what he want to do when they've been running the ball up the middle so much this whole night.
And we mentioned that Gloom out rest of the season due to the ACL. And also we had, I don't think McPherson's been in there at all either. He's dealing with a shoulder injury. So 2 top linebackers that led your team in tackles heading into last week's game out this week, and other guys stepping up, including Blackman and some other players as well. So good showing so far. Passing game, it's kind of respectable at this point. They are 8 of 15 for 94 yards in the air for Organ Mountain. They had a couple of catches for Weir. He had the touchdown catch for 14, but 2 for 47. Also had a 33-yard reception for his squad. He's the leader. It was a Rivera, a catch for 16. Avila, 2 for 14. Eris had 2 for 13 coming out of the backfield. And also Romeo Jones, who was a running back, he had 1 for 4. So they had a total of 5 receivers pulling them down. Again, 8 for 15 for 94 yards, shy of the 100 mark. Total offense in the first half, unofficially, 208. 114 in the run game, 94 in the pass game for the Knights. They've had 3 penalties for 35 yards. They've been intercepted once. They punted once, turnover on downs, and had that blocked field goal also that the Eagles did recover. But they've had 8 first downs in the first half. We've seen some sustained drives, but only one time did they got into the red zone, and they did score eventually with that pass to Weir.
Yeah, most definitely. They definitely been getting up the field, and that's the good thing about Organ Mountain. Unfortunately, they finally got up to the red zone. A lot of the times they couldn't make it there, and, man, again, they're moving up the field, and that's the great thing that they're doing. But, again, they can't score quite too much with a score like 30-6. So, hey, but it's just the defense of Hobbs that have been stopping them and making sure the plays get stopped.
In terms of the Hobbs Eagle offense, capitalized by Madrano, 7 carries, 132 yards on the ground. He's had a bunch of double-digit runs, including his first double-digit, 34 for a touchdown. He's had a 20, a 14, a 22, and a 31 in the second quarter. So triple digits already. In fact, that's getting close to his numbers for the full game last week against Clovis. He's in the 130-plus range there. So already there at halftime. You kind of wonder, I mean, with the big game coming up next week, do you think you'll start to see some substitution with McCool coming in, or do you think they'll go ahead and play him for a quarter or so to see what more he can do in this game, still with a comfortable 30-6 lead?
Hopefully, man, Coach do that. You want to be able to give the secondary quarterback some playing time to be able to get out there and, get his fingers energized, be able to throw a couple balls. I believe McCool can come out here and be able to step up and show what he got and be able to showcase himself. And that's what a lot of players doing on defense. So I believe Coach can be able to chance it on offense too as well.
Seamus Wright, 6 carries for 74 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns of 2 and 33. Also had a 20 and a 10-yarder as well, so he definitely is stepping up for the Eagles. Rest of the lineup shows Taylor having a carry for 2 and Hill a carry for 2 yards. So 4 different rushers in the first half. Eagles 210 yards on the ground, so more than 2 football fields worth of rushing.
Yes, man. Great run, and I've been seeing some strategic moves by him, and that's what you want to see, and that's what Seamus is known for, and that's how he does, man. He get up the field, he runs, he makes sure to see the open spot, and man, that open spot caused him to have 2 touchdowns. So love to see that by him.
Eagles really haven't been dominating in the passing game much. They were just 5 of 13 in the first half. But the top leader in terms of pass receptions, Justice French, 3 catches for 37. Had a couple more opportunities, a little bit of long balls thrown towards him in the end zone. Couldn't come down with those, although he got up as high as he could on some of those. Also had the 75-yard kickoff return, which is not a pass, but still he's getting his feast on some yards in this ball game. So 3 for 37. Taylor had a catch for 6 yards out of a screen, and Mora a catch for 11. So only 3 receivers have had receptions in this ball game. That for 54 yards total. So Hobbs' total offense, 264 compared to 208 for Organ Mountain. Penalties started them out a little bit there in the second quarter. Eagles with a total of 6 for 45 yards. They had turned over on downs once, which was also messed up by a penalty, too, towards the end of that series. So that kind of cost them there. Eagles have had those 2 turnovers against Organ Mountain, the interception from Blackman, and, of course, Hernandez had the blocked field goal. Eagles with 9 first downs in the first half. And game plan for the third quarter, what do you think the Eagles might try to do here? They do have that 24-point lead. In terms of the offense, do you want to extend the running game or start to open up the pass a little bit? They are just 5 of 13 in the passing game, but you don't do any dangerous screen throws that are going to give the corners a chance to come up and pick off. We almost had one of those earlier, and we actually had one backward pass that hit the turf, and of course picked up by Medrano. Was being thrown by another Eagle player, but Medrano picked it up and turned that into positive 14. Then a penalty against Organ Mountain for 15, but that was a turnover on down series there.
Yeah, it was, and great play by Medrano too, right there, to be able to keep it going and keep it up. But again, like you said, coming up out of the second half, I believe put some some secondary players in to be able to get some time, but go to all around, be able to throw the ball, be able to go to the running game, but be able to let those secondary players come in to be able to get that action.
30-6 your score. Hobbs leading Organ Mountain here at half. We will take a 3-minute break, come back with second half action. As you're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football on the radio at Cool 95.7, on the internet, YouTube Hobbs Sports page, the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, and HobbsAmerica.com. Back at halftime here at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces. Ty friend Sovereign Anthony with you as your Eagles up big 30-6, 24-point lead as we get ready for the second half. Scoring in this game, first two touchdowns for the Eagles, a 2-yard run for Seamus Wright. Missed the PAT, 6-0 the game at that point. Second score of the first quarter, a 34-yard run for Junior Medrano, made it 13-0. In fact, Hobbs added 2 more touchdowns, so 4 unanswered scoring drives for the Eagles. In the second quarter, Seamus Wright his second touchdown for 33 yards out with 20-0 score. And then Beatty had a 38-yard field goal to make it 23-0 at that point. Oregon Mountain managed to score with 10 seconds left in the second, a 14-yard pass for Gonzalez to Weir, and that made it 23-6, missed 2-point conversion for the Knights. Eagles finish up with 10 seconds left in the kickoff return, 75-yarder returned by French to make it 30-6, a 24-point lead. Both teams back out of the field doing their 3-minute warm-up here for the second half of action. This is the last game of the season for Oregon Mountain. They've already finished up the rest of their games and, of course, played Centennial last week. And only 2 wins of the season have been against Deming and Mayfield. Of course, Mayfield playing in the 5A, a team that, boy, Lovington went down and beat pretty badly a couple of weeks ago. So a big win for the Wildcats from Lee County, of course. And talk about the 5A, you got some very good teams there. Artesia, number 1 for much of the season. Roswell at number 2. And, of course, the Lovington Wildcats, number 3. All 3 teams the Hobbs Eagles played earlier in the season before the district schedule got started. And that's why you're seeing the Eagles moving into that number 3 slot of the Max Preps Bowl this week, right above Centennial at number 4. Hobbs at number 3. We mentioned this earlier in the game too, Sovereign, that 5 district teams, if they were going to do the playoffs tonight, 5 district teams would be in. Las Cruces number 1, Hobbs number 3, Centennial number 4, Carlsbad number 10, and number 12, Alamogordo. I think Alamogordo is kind of on the bubble there because there's some teams right beneath them. El Dorado, which gets a lot of credit, Albuquerque, and Clovis. Clovis probably not much of a chance there, but a couple other teams like El Dorado, Albuquerque, I think would have a shot to sneak their way in there, especially Albuquerque, who has a 5-3 record, which is better than the under 500 for Alamogordo. But next week, that's really going to put a lot of pressure on Carlsbad to come to Hobbs and play at Watson Stadium to try to get their ticket punched. 12 teams make it, and as I said, Carlsbad at number 10 and Alamogordo number 12. So they've got some important games coming up next week. Carlsbad has Las Cruces tomorrow, which, you know, it kind of looks like that's going to probably go the way of the Dogs in that one with an 8-0 record. But, again, very pivotal game, and the fans have got to show up to that Halloween game. It's going to be tough with kids doing trick-or-treating and all that, but they might want to have trick-or-treating at the stadium on that Friday night next week.
Yes, you want to make sure to do so because I know it's going to be a lot of ripping and running for those who got kiddos. But again, like you said, man, this is gonna be a shot for Carlsbad to be able to, you know, get into that, you know, that playoffs, and so they're gonna come with their head on, and Hobbs gonna have to come with their head on next week. And again, it being the spooky night, the Halloween night, you want to be able to make sure to play.
And one good thing about the Eagles, too, besides being number 3 on the Max Preps poll, they have a good strength of schedule. Cleveland actually has the best, even though they're second at 6.8. Hobbs right behind them at 5.3. And I'm not sure if this is a misprint or not, but Max Preps has Las Cruces, who's number 1, with a 1 point of strength of schedule. So I don't know how that works, but the Eagles have had some tough games with the season. Again, all those 3 5A schools that are high up on the charts there for the Max Preps poll there with Lovington, Roswell, and Artesia. Eagles have played El Paso and, you know, all the teams in the district. And, of course, with 5 of those teams getting a chance possibly for the playoffs, that tells you how tough the South District is in terms of the Eagles and the teams that they play like Las Cruces.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be pretty tough, man. And so you just want to make sure to play. You want to make sure to prep, get right, and get ready for what's coming up.
Hobbs Eagles going to kick off here to start the second half, going left to right on the radio dial. Again, Eagles in the white uniforms and the black numbers and the Army green of the Oregon Mountain Knights. The kickoff is going to be from Taylor. He'll take a bounce at the 2, roll towards the goal line, then picked up at the last second by Osvaldo Aras. Comes up the middle across the 10 and is drilled down to the turf quickly at the number 11-yard line. Boy, he got a big shot taken at him there and is running off the field. I had to check to see who that was as a bullet leaving the field, but that was they said number 42. I don't have that on the roster for some reason, so I'm not sure who that was. But nice job on the special teams. I'm sure a few JV players have been moved up on the squad for this game in the playoffs as well. A lot of injuries for the Eagles, especially their top 2 linebackers. So that's discouraging, but at the same time, we've seen some people stepping up in this game. Not great field position for Oregon Mountain, though. They're hitting at the 13-yard line to start their series here in the third quarter as they trail Hobbs 30-6.
Yes, most definitely. And defense want to be able to take advantage of this field range right here that Oregon Mountain guys got and be able to take advantage and attack it.
Trips left. No receivers to the right side. Gonzalez back in shotgun as his tailback to his left. It'll be a good snap. Get the handoff angle right around the end to the 15, 20, extending 30, 35, down to the 40, and throw down at the 42-yard line. Started at about the 13, down to the 42. That's a 29-yard run for outside running there for Osvaldo Aras.
That's something you do not want coming out in the second half for the defensive team. Even though it's a big lead, they got them 30-6, you know. That run really don't kind of shake anything. But, again, you just don't want to give that team an advantage to believe that they can come back.
That's their 9th first down and the best rush of the night for any back for Oregon Mountain. 29 yards there. 5 carries for 36 for Aras now. And the Mountain squad up on the 42-yard line. 1st and 10, trips left. No receivers right once again. Gonzalez back with his running back, Aras. Give it back to Aras. Stutter step across the 45. Heads outside the right hash toward the Eagles sideline right. He's out at the 50. And he'll pick up another, looks like 7. They're going to say his knee went down behind the 50-yard line. So Aras back-to-back runs. He has 2 carries for 36 here in the second. And 43 overall for the Knight squad. Actually giving him 8 right at the 50-yard line, the tip of the football. Mountain's going to take some time in their huddle. Of course, their school named after the Oregon Mountains right here on the horizon in Las Cruces. Used to be on Yate for quite a few years. 2nd down and 2 now from the 50 on the right hash for Oregon Mountain. They have trips left again, keeping in the same formation. Shotgun getting down in a low crouch. Gonzalez, 2-step drop. He's going to toss it from his back foot over to the 40 on the out route far right. The catch is made, and that will be a first down. They needed just to get 2. And they ended up going to get 7 instead. Big receiver out there, too, for Oregon Mountain. And that was, I thought they said 87. We'll have to double check on that number. I think earlier we had, I think it was 88 actually. Ryle Rivera, we saw him catch one earlier. That one is for the first down. He's got 2 catches for 23. Oregon Mountain is now 9 of 16 in the passing game. That'll be the 10th first down from the 40. Shotgun out of a I formation. Give the handoff to the tailback. Stutter steps on the right side of scrimmage. And he's met in the backfield. They're going to blow the whistle dead on that. Adrian Moore in there first. I'm not even sure they're going to give him forward progress much. Maybe to the line of scrimmage if he's lucky, and that's about it. Boy, his mangled up jersey after that one as Moore read that quickly and had some guys behind him to help out.
You know, and great way to pick up that, you know, that play by Mora. You know, be able to be there at the right time and be able to pick up that play.
I think that might have been Romeo Jones that had that carry, but not going very far on that one. So that's a no pickup on that one for Jones. Brings up a 2nd down and 10 from the 40, right hash. Staggered I formation, 3-step drop. Gonzalez wants to throw on the post route, but throws it right into the Hobbs Eagle coverage. Is that a pick or not? From the 30. From the left hash, getting underneath the football, looked like Leo Jaquez. And that ball was thrown way too early. The receiver was still in traffic. Looks like he was doing kind of a long post route, but he had not even got really into the turn of the post yet at the 40. The ball was, or 30. The ball was thrown short. Jaquez tried to get a hand on it, but they called it incomplete.
I believe it should have been a pick right there. I don't know how, and to be honest, I don't know how he how he caught it, man. It was a kind of crazy catch by him, but almost interception.
So 3rd down and 10 after the incompletion. They are 9 of 17 now in the passing game. Trips left, receiver right. Gonzalez gets a shotgun. Steps up in the pocket. He'll turn and fire. A spiral straight up in the air towards the left goal line. Intercepted by the Eagles at the 2, right side of the field. And just cradling it into his arms for the pick. So they do get the interception finally in this series to stop a scoring opportunity. That's kind of backpedaling and just throwing his body at the ball was Robert Garcia for the INT. 2nd INT of the game for the Eagles.
You think with a score like that with Oregon Mountain, you think you want to be able to throw high balls like that when a team had already got, you know, up 30-6 on you?
Yeah, that's definitely not a high percentage pass there. Eagles will take it over. Oh, wait a second. They called a penalty on the Eagles. It wasn't in the passing situation there down the field, and maybe it was did somebody run into the quarterback possibly? Now, interception is going to be a race, so definitely a defensive penalty. It looks like they move it up 15. Didn't see the signal from the official that time, but that's going to race the INT. That's going to be 7 penalties for 60 yards. And that will give it back to Oregon Mountain. The dirty hands principle. If you do something illegal, you do not get the turnover after the penalty happens, or the foul, I should say. 1st and 10 from the 25. Go with the handoff up the middle, trying to use his blockers in the right gap and get close to the 20. That'll be about a 5-yarder, moving the pile just a bit. So getting half of the 10 yards that he needed that time. 2nd down and 5. And that's going to be Aris for 5 yards. He's got 49 on the ground on 7 carries. 2nd down and 5 now from the Eagle 20 on the right hash. And here we go, a second opportunity in the red zone for the Knights of the night. Twins left, receiver right. 3 in the backfield with a staggered eye formation. Gonzalez in between his 2 backers, gets a shotgun. He's going to throw a quick shot to the near left sideline. The catch made at the 16. That's going to be about a 4-yard pickup there. Big receiver getting that one was Rivera. He's got 3 catches now for 27 yards. They're now 10 of 18 in the passing game. 3rd down and short, just 1 yard needed as they need to get to the 15-yard line, currently at the 16. On the left hash, it is 30-6. Eagles lead by 24, clock running with 8:16 left, 3rd quarter. They'll send Ware, who caught the touchdown in the 2nd quarter. He's on the far right. He's the only receiver. Split formation backfield. Quick snap to Gonzalez coming around the right end. He's trying to backpedal across the 15, but I don't think he's going to get much further. That's where he needed to get. The forward progress going to be very close to that 15-yard line as the big Eagle wall steps up from the defensive front. We'll have to wait and see if they're going to give it to him or not. I don't think they did. I think they're giving him a half a yard. I think the sticks are kind of waiting to see where the refs are going to finally place this one. Needed to get right to the 15, and they put the point of the football behind the 15-yard line. So a half a yard. Nope. Now the official did he signal first? Looked like he pointed his hand forward, but no, they're not moving the chain. So a half a yard pickup for Gonzalez. Be 4th and less than a yard to go. Point of the football at the 15-yard line, but has not crossed it yet. Now they're moving the chains. Wow. 1st down. Sorry about that. I kind of wonder because he did point 1st down, but then the sticks just stayed there solid. So they go ahead and give him the 1. That'll be a 1st down at the 15. 1 receiver right. They're going to shift 2 men from the right side of the line to the left, including a slot. 3 in the backfield. Quick snap to Gonzalez. He tries to cut up the middle. Nothing doing for the Hobbs Eagle defense. Might have lost a couple on that one. Boy, quick read for the Eagles. That was Dylan Sanchez, the defensive tackle. 5'7", 260, and he had a bullet look on that one. Radar right behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 2.
And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to get in there. You want to be able to attack and make a play happen. You don't want to allow the team to be able to get too close to the red zone.
Appears they're kind of going to the well too many times in a row. Gonzalez now just kind of tucking his head and running right into some big wall players for the Hobbs Eagles. Not getting much on that one. 2nd down and 12 now at the 17 of the Eagles. Hobbs still up by 24 with 6:20 remaining. 2 receivers left, none to the right side, but there is a slot right. Shotgun Gonzalez. He wants to throw. He'll air it out to the left corner of the end zone near the goal line. Gets tipped up in the air, and there's going to be incomplete as batting the ball down for the Eagles. Robert Garcia having a lot of action tonight. Went up high in the air with Ware. Ware's having a discussion with the official. Thought he might have got pushed in the back there near the goal line. That is an incomplete pass regardless.
And as Oregon Mountain, you kind of don't want to throw no lobs like that, especially at this time when the score is 30-6. You know, you want to kind of go to the run game a little more and do things that you're more comfortable with.
Or get the pass to the towards the sideline, get out of bounds there. But it looks like they're alley-ooping it, but no rim to dunk on.
That's right.
10 of 19 in the passing game now for Oregon Mountain with 6:09 left. Twins left and right, shotgun, the draw play up the middle, and boy, great read for the Eagles. Slapping him by the shoulder pads of the turf for Hobbs. Coming in quickly was Davian Villegas, the linebacker. And I think they're going to say he lost a yard on the play. Not much going on that play whatsoever for Romeo Jones, -1. That's his 2nd carry, -1 for the game. And now back at the 17-yard line. 4th down and about 11 and a half for the Knights on the right hash. Inside the red zone, though, and the Eagles will like to hold this up on downs if possible. Pair of receivers left and right. Gonzalez gets the snap, 3-step drop. He has pressure. He just throws it from his back leg up for grabs. Ball gets knocked down at the 2-yard line. But in transition, get ready for a pick six there, was Javen Hernandez. Decided just to slap it down. Didn't want to have a ricochet back behind him towards the goal line. As diving for it was the intended receiver for Oregon Mountain, who just could not come out underneath it. But Javen did a good job of knocking the ball back towards the line of scrimmage. He's about 15 yards downfield, but did not want any chance for that to get knocked into somebody else's arms.
And like you said, he's always at the right place at the right time to make sure to be there.
Pass was intended for a beta that time, incomplete. They dropped 10 of 20 now in the passing game. Back to pass for the Eagles, Medrano. Throws it in the line of scrimmage left, caught at the 20, and ran out of bounds near the 23-yard line. That's going to be about a 7-yard pickup coming out of the backfield that time. Quick shot to DeMarcus Hill near the line of scrimmage. Chains are kind of moving for some reason, and I think it got tangled up over there. That's going to give them a 5-yard pickup for DeMarcus. And for him, that will be his first catch of the ball game.
Great catch by Mora.
They're going to throw it down deep, and Mora's going to go to the end zone for the touchdown. They kind of faded out to the far left sideline. Mora in transition that time into the end zone. That was starting about the 23. That's going to be a 77-yarder for the score. So Mora, second catch of the ball game. That one for a touchdown. 2 catches for 88. And the Eagles back up on the scoreboard.
And, man, the way he caught the ball, man, the ball was going over his head, and he still was able to make it to stretch his hands out to be able to catch that ball. So that was a great catch by Moore and great throw by Medrano.
In stride there for the score as we wait for another PAT. Should be number 91 for Beatty. Had a field goal earlier as well. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Your Hobbs Eagles extend the lead to 31, 37-6. With 5:03 left in the third quarter. Big pass for the score. Come back with us in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Here at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces as the Hobbs Eagles extend their lead to 31, 37-6. 5:03 left third quarter. 77-yard pass play from Medrano to Mora. And boy, he just reached those hands out and the ball thrown right where they needed to go in the stretched arms and also in transition down that far left sideline. The kickoff for the Eagles. Beatty will send it end over end. It will return from the 11. Up the middle to the 20. To the 25, putting on the brakes and going down at the 26-yard line. No more than that one. And that will be the return man. Double check who that is. The scrunched up jersey. That is one of their big players, Osvaldo Aras, one of the running backs. They'll have the football at the 26, it appears. And a 37-6 lead for the Eagles with 4:57 left in the third. Be with us next week, 6:45 pregame show from Watson Stadium against the Carlsbad Cavemen. Also have the remote before that. You'll be on that one from 5 to 7, getting the fans ready for that big game.
Yes, most definitely. Getting them pumped up, bringing that spirit for the last game of the season next week on that spooky night, Halloween. So you don't want to be able to miss that. You want to make sure to be out there and bring that fire.
Trips left, no receivers right. They've been doing this all through the third quarter. Shotgun for Gonzalez. Fakes the handoff. He wants to run left. It cuts up the middle. 30, gets spun around. Helicopter to the 31. About a 5-yard pickup. And he was met hard for the Hobbs Eagles by Devin Ruiz, the linebacker. And that's going to be about a 3-yard pickup. Brings up a 2nd down and 7 for Oregon Mountain. Clock down to 4:29 left here in the third. Eagles by 31. Ball placed at the 30.5-yard line. Gonzalez gets a shotgun. He wants to throw. Seam route to the 50 off the hands. Might have got shoved in the back as he touched it. Good defense from behind and putting a shove on him was Robert Garcia. that kind of make the ball kind of jolt out of the receiver. That was a good pass, kind of in front of him a little bit at the 50, but ended up able to come down with it thanks to the defensive effort by the Eagles. And the man that tried to come down with the catch for Organ Mountain was Yandel Molina, the tight end, incomplete.
Man, and Garcia, man, he been putting pressure on the opponent, on the receivers, making sure they don't get nothing. I mean, he allowed something earlier, but, hey, not no more, man. Garcia's been putting pressure on the receivers.
3rd down and 7 from the 31. We got jumping all over the place, getting in quickly around that left end for the Eagles. Hopefully not too quickly. Might have been Amron Wheeler there. See if they call that on him on offsides, or maybe he was drawn off there from the right side of the offensive line. Waiting for the signal first. Take us a little bit of time to get some of these calls up here. Got offsides. They're going to call Wheeler on that one, on a little bit of a blitz action there. So a 5-yard penalty against the Eagles. That's their second of the half. Total of 65 yards on 8 penalties for the game. But, of course, leading by 31. 4 points away from the mercy rule clock, too, Sovereign.
Yes, man. They just got to keep putting the pressure on. And, again, man, as Organ Mountain, you want to make sure to make strategic plays. Because, I mean, I know as me, if I was on the opposite team, I wouldn't want a mercy rule on us. I want to be able to push through and pull hard, especially it being our last game.
Whitecap is walking over to the other sideline, the right side of the field, to talk to his other 2 officials for some reason. I'm not sure what that's all about. And they're trying to get this ball moved forward for the 5 yards that Organ Mountain's going to get. That's not going to be a first down, though. Might be short by about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 here. They'll place it at the 35.5-yard line near the 36 hash mark. Bring up a 3rd down, about 1 for Organ Mountain. They'll send 3 receivers right, 1 to the left as Gonzalez waits for the shotgun as a man behind him. 4-step drop, throws it on the slant route, caught by Weir at the 35 up the middle, left hash 40. Continues to drag some bodies with them and get the first down. About 10-yard pickup, and they're going to knock him back to the 40. That big rugby scrum just continued to push backward there. Make sure he wasn't going to get more than that. And led by the charges of Dylan Sanchez, the defensive lineman. See how much they're going to give him on this one. Only going to give him 4, but that will be enough for the first down. So that'll be Weir with the catch. His 3rd for 51 yards. 11th reception for Organ Mountain on 22 attempts. That'll be the 12th first down. So they have been consistent on some of their drives moving the football, but the clock is not their ally. 3:40 left in the 3rd, 37-6. Hobbs by 31. Staggered I formation, twins right, 1 receiver left. Give to the tailback, puts on the brakes at the 40, and he gets met hard. 3 or 4 guys wrapping him up for the Eagles. Initial hit for the Hobbs by Davian Villegas. Not sure how much they're going to give him. Maybe some forward progress. Not much more than maybe 1 yard, if that. Romeo Jones, the ball carrier, does get, I'll give him a charity 1/2 yard or 1/4 yard gain on that one.
But that's what you want to do as a defensive line. You want to be able to get in there, make a play, and also have your linebackers come in and make plays too as well.
Back to the 40 and a 41-yard line. Actually, no gain in the play that time. 2nd down and 10 from the 41. Trips right, no receivers left, short side. Quick shotgun snap, 3-step drop for Gonzalez. He's going to send it to the fade left side. Intercepted, backpedal from the 30, near sideline. 35, 40, 45. Spun around at the 50, still going 45, 40, 35, 30, 25 near sideline, 20, 15, and down at the 14-yard line. Guess who that is, Mr. Sovereign? Robert Garcia. What a big game for him.
Yes, man, Garcia has not been playing now here, man. After that play, I don't believe there was a flag on the field.
Yeah, there's getting the teams off the field, it looks like.
Okay, but
no, there is a flag at the 40-yard line.
Yes.
Down the return, the INT is going to hold, but not a holding foul there, but the interception will keep the football for the Eagles. They got called on a illegal block on one of the returns, but boy, Garcia, another pickoff for the Eagles.
Wow.
So that's going to be. He had one earlier that got erased because of a penalty against the Eagles, but this one will go in the books as an official INT. And that'll be against Hobbs, it looks like, illegal block. 2nd interception against Organ Mountain. Double checking it. The flag was about the 41. We'll see where they're going to mark this at. 10 yard, that's a block in the back. So 10 yards against the Eagles. They'll take the ball, though. 3rd penalty this 2nd half for 30 yards, 75 overall on 9 penalties. Ooh, they're going even further back. Oh, 2 flags. One would have to be a dead ball because you don't get to pick two on the live ball calls. So I'm not sure what the other one was about. So we had 10, then they added another 10. So two 10-yard penalties there. Not quite sure what the dead ball would have been for 10 yards. But 1st and 10 for the Eagles after the pick from the 40. Shotgun. Medrano fakes it, throw left, hands up the middle, 40, 45, angling the right sideline, 50, and slid through to the 49 into Oregon Mountain territory. A 12-yard pickup. Continues to throw his body forward on that one. That's Seamus Wright.
Yes, man, and you got to watch out for Seamus, especially as a defensive player, man. When he's coming at you, he will put his helmet down and will go through you. So, man, great run by Seamus.
That's his 7th carry for 95 yards, his first carry of the second half, 10th first down for the Eagles, now at Oregon Mountain's 48. He was in bounds, should be starting the clock here after the first down mark off. 2:20 left in the third, Eagles by 31. Twins left, receiver right, and we got a flag before the snap at the line of scrimmage. That is going to be the line judge here on the near sideline in front of the Oregon Mountain bench. We have a lot of conversations on these fouls. Have you noticed that? We always get together as a committee and discuss every simple call. I mean, before a snap, we got offsides or we got a false start. I don't know why we're having conferences on each of these, but false start will be called against the Eagles for a 5-yard penalty. So there we go. 5 penalties here in this third quarter. 90 yards total, almost a football field now on the 10th, or make it the 11th penalty of the ball game. 5-yarder on that one. Drop it back to the 47 of the Eagles. Bring up a first down and 15. Twins left, one receiver right, shotgun. Back to pass out of the split formation. The curl route on the near sideline. Ooh, Justice French might have heard some footsteps. Came back to the football at the 50 on the curl. Got his fingertips up, and I think he had 2 guys coming at him. He was kind of worried about how he's going to catch and brace against them. And then, unfortunately, it came off his fingertips.
And, unfortunately, it happens like that for receivers. Sometimes you think about running before catching, and then, man, you end up making plays like that. But, man, it was a great throw and almost reception.
7 for 16 in the passing game. 2nd down and 15 from the 47. Still in Hobbs Eagle territory, leading by 31. Twins left, receiver right. Split formation backfield in the middle of those 2 running backs is Medrano. Fakes a handoff. He'll run up the middle. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, and zigzags to the 31-yard line for the first down. Going to be about 23, depending where they mark this. Make it 22 now for Medrano. He continues to move across the century mark, has 8 carries for 154 yards, and has got the 11th first down for the Eagles.
Man, Medrano, man, he gets up the field, man. He's going to make sure to run that ball.
1st and 10 from the 31, back to pass, 2-step drop out of the shotgun, fade route, actually a flag route to the left pylon over the shoulder, overthrows Beatty. That would have been about a 31-yard touchdown, but he got kind of sandwiched between 2 defenders running shoulder to shoulder with him back deep from that left goal line. And it's kind of a tough play to make. It was thrown over his outside shoulder, that far left sideline. He had 2 defenders on each shoulder. So either way he turned, he's going to have to bump into somebody.
That's right, man. It's kind of difficult when you're double teamed right there in the corner to be able to catch balls like that.
They is 2nd down and 10 now from the 31, middle of the field, into Oregon Mountain territory. 1:44 left in the third, 37-6 Eagles. Trips left, receiver right. Medrano has 1 man with him in the backfield. Fake the handoff, throw the quick screen pass left. Beatty at the 30, 25 up the far sideline. It tripped up at the 20 and kind of stumbles forward at the somersault out of bounds. That should be enough for the first down.
And that don't look good right there.
Yeah, Beatty is flat on his back. He got kind of knocked in his knees and then took a big tumble out of bounds, a 13-yard reception. In fact, Sovereign, that's his first catch of the night for this game. Eagles are now 8 of 18 in the passing game, but you're watching him right now down flat on the 15-yard line.
And, at this point in time in the game, man, you want to
It looked like it picked him up now. A good sign there.
Okay, great sign right there, great sign.
So he's going to try to walk that off on the sideline. He'll come off actually, he was already off the field after he got upended. But that will be a first down, the 12th of the ball game for the Eagles at the 18 of Oregon Mountain. Twins left, receiver right, split formation backfield, shotgun coming for Medrano. Gets a good snap, gives a handoff up the middle. That's Seamus Wright, extends left to the 15 and down to the 12-yard line. As he'll get another 7 for the Eagles. And, again, using his blocks and heading out, is that Seamus? Heading out towards the Hobbs Eagles sideline there. No, that was Wright, or excuse me, Hill. Was that Hill? Yeah, sorry, Hill on that one. So Hill's going to get 7 on the play. That's his second carry for 9 yards. Second down and 3. A long 3, shotgun back to Medrano at the 17. Pump fake, he's going to roll out of the pressure to the 15, tucks 10 to the 5 near right sideline, puts his head down and takes 3 defenders to the goal line. They're going to call the touchdown. He came across the pylon. Count it. 13 yards on the run, and Medrano took on 3 defenders at the end of that play. And no flags on the field, Sovereign.
Hey, way to get in there, and he was doing a great block. You got to give it. I don't know if that was French or that was Beatty blocking that man, but they did a great block for Medrano to be able to get in there to the end zone.
I think Beatty Beatty was out there. I thought he might stay on the sideline. He got crunched up a few plays back. He's out to kick the PAT, though, and he's got, 91, I believe, in the game now. I'm sure Jason Farmer's going to keep me updated on a text message on that one, keeping us some good record stats for the Eagles in this game. Kick is up, and it is for Beatty. Good, inside the right upright. So he converts on it, and your Hobbs Eagles now got the mercy roll numbers they need, up by 38, 44-6. That'll be a running clock here, hopefully to keep it above that number with 47 seconds left in the third. We'll take a 60-second break, come back with the Hobbs Eagle Network and your Hobbs Eagles in Las Cruces. 47 seconds left here in the third, 44-6. Here's the kick from the Eagles, and it will be caught at the 10, shallow at the right side, up to the 20, right hash. Stop and go, 25, 30, 35. A good return here for Oregon Mountain. The pile's still moving, too, down to the 37, 38-yard line. So good position here for Oregon Mountain to try to get another score on the board before we get out of this third quarter. Trying to unravel everybody. The return man for the Knights was Osvaldo Aras. And now another possession for Oregon Mountain. Go back to the huddle with 23 seconds left in the third. They trail Hobbs 44-6. They should get the clock started once they get the chain set. Mercy roll underway. 35 is the mercy roll clock starter. And right now it's at 38, so nice little cushion there as Oregon Mountain comes up. They got a mark at the 38, make it the 37.5-yard line. They'll send 2 receivers left, one to the right side. Quarterback Gonzalez takes a shotgun, 3-step drop. He's trying to throw the little quick out route, but it looks like the ball gets swatted near the line of scrimmage. I'm not sure who got the hand on it there. I couldn't tell if that was the left side of the line or maybe someone in the backfield there getting a swat at it. Kind of looked like maybe Wheeler, the defensive end, might have been the guy to knock that one down, but incomplete regardless, and a good job of putting some pressure on the quarterback as well. So incomplete. That'll end the third quarter, and that'll bring it to the last part of the ball game with the mercy roll clock. 44-6, your Hobbs Eagles lead by 38. We go to the finale here in just 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back live here in Las Cruces, the Field of Dreams. Ty and Sovereign with you as your Hobbs Eagles lead 44-6 over Oregon Mountain. 4 of the 5 offensive touchdowns for the Eagles have been on the ground. 2 for Medrano, 2 for Seamus Wright, and a pass reception by Mora in the third quarter. We start the fourth. Oregon Mountain faced with a second down and 10 from their 37. They go fake handoff, rolling left, Gonzalez was going to try to keep it around the end, the quarterback, but he's met hard. 3 guys coming after him. One gets their hands on him and pulls him down first. That's Leo Hawkes, the DB for the Eagles.
And that's what you want to do as a defense. They still putting pressure on them, still going hard. And at this scoreboard like this, man, when it's 44-6, do you want to put some secondary in on the defensive side so they can get some action?
We'll have to wait and see if that does happen. A big decision there for Coach Stevens and the squad. Actually, that was Zimbardi, the linebacker, that put him down on the turf. -3 for Gonzalez on that one. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 13 back at the 35, or make it the 35-yard line on the left hash. Twins left and right, shotgun Gonzalez. 3-step drop, gets a chase by Wheeler. Throws it hard to the line of scrimmage and a high one. Helmet right in the back of the receiver by Devin Ruiz to make sure that wasn't going to come down with the reception. That caused the ball to get squashed up in the air, incomplete. So nice job of the Eagles putting some battering ram action on that receiver. Was kind of hiding out at the line of scrimmage, and a lot of pressure coming with Wheeler going after the quarterback and Gonzalez as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, man. And Wheeler is known for giving a quarterback pressure, so, man, he's going to get in there and make sure to attack.
They're 11 of 24 in the passing game now, and in punt situation, this will only be the 2nd punt for Oregon Mountain in the ball game. High snap, having to jump for it. The kick from the 24. A low one and a roller. Eagles scoop it up at the 28 on the right hash, up the right sideline. 40. 45, stop and go, 50, 45 of the Oregon Mountain squad, and he is into night territory. Right in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. So Eagles getting a great return there. Double checking the number. I think that was Leo Hawkes possibly on the return. And there's an injured player, looks like the Knights on that far sideline, right side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Or was that Mora? Maybe that was Mora that returned that one.
Yeah, it was Mora. Man, Mora had 2 great punt returns, you know. Man, getting up the field and everything like that. Already had scored 1 touchdown, man. So Mora, man, he's doing great out there. Love to see it.
Yeah, of course, the 77-yard reception for a touchdown, 2 in the passing game for the Eagles. The Oregon Mountain player is flat on his back, so they're going to go attend to him in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Hobbs up 44-6, a 38-point lead here at the Field of Dreams. Of course, the Eagles only had 1 game, or no, this is the 2nd game they played Las Cruces side that you and TJ were with there a few weeks back. So this one will make it a 1-1 record for the Eagles at this facility. How do you like this stadium, by the way, Sovereign?
Man, the stadium feels good. It got a nice feel to it, man. The field is great, man. It is the Field of Dream, man. So, hey, it's a dream field, you know, to be able to play on nice turf, man, nice stadium, man. It's good to play here.
Like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle football this season, including Lee County State Bank, Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, Innomar Pipeline, Outlaw Sports Grill, Eunice Pump and Supply, the Hobbs Express, JBW Solutions, SunGuard Precision, the Bel Air Bowl, Devon Energy, Badger, Master Plumbers, Forest Tire, TDS, and Divine Energy Services. Again, very fine Hobbs Eagle sponsors of the season for the Hobbs Eagles. And coming off the field for Oregon Mountain, the injured player getting some help from his training staff. That is Tyrell Toledo, defensive lineman for Oregon Mountain. Eagle football after the punt, 1st and 10 from the Oregon Mountain 44. Twins left and right, shotgun. That was McColl. Tries to hand it off, and it gets dropped in the backfield off the fingertips of DeMarcus Hill. He came across right to left. Ball comes down in the backfield. I think they do get the recovery, but it'll be a -5. McColl coming in, of course, for Junior Medrano, the starting quarterback.
So it seems like they put a little bit of secondary in there, you know, and that's what you want to see. You want to be able to see them young guys come in, step up, make some great plays, and be able to make something happen.
So -5 on the play. Unfortunately, that's going to have to go to Hill on the fumble. Twins left and receiver right, 2nd down and 15. Shotgun. This time McColl gets a good handoff, and Hill tries to head right, but he's dropped outside the right hash, trying to get back to where they had dropped him before, but I don't know if he got back to that -5 that we saw a second ago. Yep, he did. They're going to give him no gain on the play, so still a 3rd down and 15. He's had 5 carries for 4 yards. Not big numbers for Hill, but, of course, some other guys over the total of 108, 165 yards from Medrano. I'm going to add that up here in just a minute. Twins left and right. We got this hurry-up offense. Never can keep up with the Hobbs Eagles. Ready for a shotgun is McCool with the split formation. Hand off to his left tailback. Gets up the middle. 45, 40, 35, and down to the 33-yard line. That'll be a 1st down pickup and then some. A 17-yarder for the Hobbs Eagles. And getting the run for the Eagles that time was DeMarcus Hill.
Yes, man. And DeMarcus Hill, man, he's a different type of rushing back, man. When he grabs the ball, he makes sure to just run straight forward. And if you in his way, you in his way. You want to make sure to move out the way. But that's the run by DeMarcus Hill.
165 yards, I should say, for Medrano. Trying to get that out of my mouth earlier. 2 touchdowns for him, but he's out of the game now with his backup McCool in there. That was the third largest run of the game for DeMarcus Hill. They'll go to the right side, up the far right sideline, and continue to run downfield to the 15 or make it the 13-yard line. Another first down pickup. That will be the quarterback, the backup. As getting ahead for the Eagles was McCool on the quarterback keeper. Looks like he's going to get, 20 on that one.
And that's good, man. I love to see McCool step up, man. And he got some speed on him. He can run the ball a little bit, and so that's what I love to see, man. Great run by McCool.
That'll be 14 or make that 15 first downs for the Eagles as they look to the sideline for the play call. Ball placed now at the 13-yard line, ready for the shotgun, another split formation. Twins left, receiver right. McCool going to give it off up the gut, and getting spun around is that Seamus Wright. Little back pedal as he comes across the 10. Looks like they'll give him 4 on that one. Or make that, is that Hill again? Both of them 23 and 21. That was Hill, as they'll give him 3 on the play. So in this half, he has had 22 yards, 24 overall on 6 carries.
And I see they got Nelson in the backfield as well.
So they go back to split formation. Twins right, receiver left. In between his 2 running backs is McCool. Handoff around the right end to Nelson, as you just mentioned. He tried to strip his way across one defender. Can't get outside the way he wants to. He's going to go down in the backfield. And he's going to lose, looks like, about 3 yards on that one. Back to the original line of scrimmage. That was the first carry for Nelson. He got chased in the backfield by Damian Avila. And that'll be a 3rd down and 9 for the Eagles. Inside the red zone here at the Oregon Mountain 12-yard line. 6:48, Mercy Roll clock running. Eagles up 44-6 here in the 4th quarter. Taking a lot more time getting the play calls to keep that clock running.
Yeah. You want to be able to keep that clock running and be able to keep it going. And, I mean, they're moving forward. I love that they got the secondary in to step up, and they're getting up the field.
Twins left, receiver right, shotgun, McCool, handoff again up the middle. Here's Nelson breaking a tackle, the 10-5 touchdown. That's going to end up being a 13-yard score for Nelson as he came in. Actually, no, correction, that's Hill. DeMarcus Hill getting the score on that one. Got to really watch carefully on those the second digit of the numbers. We got 21 Wright, 23 Hill, and Nelson 26. So you got to watch that second digit very carefully as Eagles put some more points on the scoreboard.
Way to get in there by DeMarcus Hill.
So he gets a 13-yard rush for a score, his first score of the game, as we got another kick opportunity, PAT for Braddock Beatty, who's second on the all-time scoring list for PATs. Good hold for McCool. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Your Hobbs Eagles have hit over the 50 mark now, 51-6, leading by 45, 10 more than the Mercy Roll needs at 35. We'll take another 30-second break, come back live in the Hobbs Eagle Network. Hobbs Eagles up 51-6 here, 4th quarter from the Field of Dreams. 6:25 remaining. And again, a 13-yard run for Hill, his first score of the ball game. The Eagles have really started to light it up in the ground game in terms of scoring. They have had a total of 5 rushing touchdowns in this game. Medrano had 2 before he exited here in the 4th quarter. 2 rushing touchdowns for Seamus Wright, and now Hill joining the fraternity on the ground in the end zone. Getting ready to kick off again is Beatty. Again, Eagles up by 45 points. Last year they won pretty big against this Oregon Mountain team as well. Not the same team, obviously, same program. And now the kickoff. It'll be caught at the 10 on the left hash. Come up the hash to the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. The far left sideline, 50 to Hobbs territory, 40, 35, 30. and run out of bounds at the 25. That is where the wide receiver caught it around the 15 and way into Hobbs Eagle red zone territory. Actually going to mark it at the 25. He went out before that. But now already Oregon Mountain knocking at the door. They got 6:07 to work with and a running clock due to the mercy rule.
Yes, man. I mean, even though a score like this, it'll be happy to be able to, come back or whatever. But unfortunately, it'll be impossible. But a great return by Oregon Mountain.
Yeah, Weir ran to the sideline and chest bump, jumping in the air with some of his teammates on the sideline in front of the press box here. And he's going to go back into the game now at the receiver position. Trying to catch his breath a little bit there after a big run back. Ball marked to the 25 on the left hash in Eagle territory with 6:07 remaining. Hobbs up 51-6. Eagles getting ready to run their record to 7-2 overall, 4-1 in district. Oregon Mountain will drop to 2-8 and 0-6 to finish up their schedule. Trips right, receiver no to the left. Pack to pass. Gonzalez going to loft it down to the middle of the end zone or far left of the end zone, and they're going to call a bump foul, a PI against the Eagles, kind of sandwiching the receiver that time. And you could just see him kind of fall into the ground before the ball got there. It was in the air, so a PI going to be called. That'll be looks like it'll be half the distance, though, because the ball was already at the 25, so about the 12.5-yard line. Ended up being a 12.5-yard penalty against the Eagles.
Yes, man, and man, great way to be able to stay on your receiver, man, as a corner. And I see that they got the secondary defense in, so give them some playing time to be able to step up and come up.
Not sure who they got the foul on. I know back there with the receiver for the Eagles was Jesse Nelson getting to play some cornerback on that far right side. But they kind of hard to tell who was the actual flag flown on. It will be half the distance. It'll be at the 12.5-yard line. They're going to restart the clock here on the mercy rule. We'll move the chains for Oregon Mountain. They have 13 first downs. That one penalty-aided. Trips left, receiver right. Gonzalez back in shotgun on the low crouch. Two-step drop back of the 20. He wants to heave it to the right side of the goal line. Caught at the 1-yard line. That'll be a 14-yard or 13-yard reception for Weir. Move the chains once again. That's going to be his fourth catch for 64 yards. 12th reception of the game for Oregon Mountain on 25 attempts and the 14th first down. Clock running at 5:18 remaining. He did stay in bounds. Will be at the 1-yard line on the right hash. And Oregon Mountain taking some time in the huddle. They're definitely wanting to score on this drive. They did have their touchdown with just 10 seconds back in the second quarter before halftime, and then returning a 75-yarder for Justice French on the kick return. Low snap. They'll throw this slant route. Then they'll do a pitch around the right side for the touchdown. Weir caught the ball at the 1, then pitched to the right, and the score. And that looked like a lineman that actually got the pitch on that one. Looked like they got in the hands of Brandon Olivas, yep, offensive lineman senior. That'll be a 1-yard run credited to him after a catch from Weir. Boy, I haven't seen that play before.
Yeah, I haven't. Not at least not in the high school system, I mean, great play right there, and unfortunately it was a touchdown by a lineman.
So a 1-yard score there, once again for Brandon Olivas. That'll make it 51-12. Yep, they get his name and picture up on the scoreboard there. Pretty excited. He was jumping up and chest bumping his teammates after that one, all wrapped around him there after he scored. Little hook and ladder, I guess you could call that. Don't usually see a lineman being the recipient of the pitch on that, but that's basically what the play was. Receiver left, shotgun, and we got a whistle here. I think we had an extra player on the field, legal substitution. Yep, they got the 5-yard penalty. So a 5-yarder against Oregon Mountain. Couldn't get the guy off quick enough. They stopped the action, though, before the play extended. That usually would be a 15-yarder if their player actually get to the full play on that, but they stop it as he's trying to exit the field. Not a lot of penalties in this game for Oregon Mountain. In fact, they had 3 for 35 in the first half. This is their first of the second half, so 4 for 40. That'll back them up 5 yards to the 8-yard line for the 2-point conversion attempt. Clock to 4:52 left here in this ball game. 51-12 Eagles, pinning the 2-point conversion. The handoff fumbled forward. It's near the 5-yard line. Eagles pick it up, and they try to run it back. NCAA, you can do that. NFL as well, but not in New Mexico for state football action, as picking that ball up off the ground and was going to run up the near left sideline, but it was whistled dead. Pretty excited about getting a chance. Looked like number 28. I'm not sure we have that on our varsity roster. I think somebody might have got moved up, but fortunately don't have that name for you. Unless that was a 26, could have been Jesse Nelson because he was playing some defense there on that series. No good on the two-point conversion. Eagles up 51-12, lead by 39 with 4:52 remaining. We'll come back in 30 seconds live on Cool 95.7 on the radio, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page on the internet. Oregon Mountain kicking off after their second touchdown. The ball hits the ground, goes up in the air. It's loose at the 40 of the Eagles and near the sideline. Official hasn't signaled yet whose ball it is. Oh, we got some pushing going on near the Oregon Mountain sideline. Hobbs and the Knights getting into it a little bit. No flags are flying, but we still haven't even had a signal whose ball possession it is. Ball was loose on the near sideline. Don't think it got out of bounds, but we're still waiting for the signal to say whose ball it is. I don't see Oregon Mountain jumping for joy, so maybe they gave it back to the Eagles. Almost looked like a pop-up kick. The ball hit the ground. They went straight up. I'm not quite sure. I don't have a flag on that, but on a pop-up kick, you have to hit it down to the ground and straight up. Not quite sure if that was completely what happened there. Hobbs looks like they're going to have possession at the 41, and they'll have their 4:52 to kill here. You definitely like to get some first downs because you don't want to have to punt on this situation. So you have to give some effort out there. You definitely have a comfortable lead by 39, so you don't have to worry about the loss or anything. But still, you want to have some good forward momentum on this series. They'll send three receivers right, one to the left side, short in front of the Oregon Mountain bench. Back to shotgun as McCool has one man on his left shoulder. Give the handoff around the right end to Jesse Nelson. Puts on the brakes and heads forward, 45. And short of the 50 by about a yard or so. Looks like they'll give Jesse an 8-yard pickup on that play.
And we know Jesse can run. You know, we've seen him through previous games. You know, Jesse can really get up the field. And so by him getting in and see him get some playing time, man, it's great to see out there.
Was about 3 or 4 games back. He had a rushing touchdown and like 5 or 6 carries in the fourth quarter. That was the only time he got to play in that game, but came up big with the score. 2nd down and 2 now from the 49 of the Eagles. Twins left and right. McColl taking a little bit more time on the shotgun here with 4:15 left. Mercy rule clock running. Slaps his hands. He's going to roll left. Stops at the 45. That continues on to the near left sideline. 50 into Oregon Mountain territory and tiptoes out of bounds. Good field presence. Got it looking ahead. And you know he had the first down marker already past that. We'll see how much they give him on this one. 6-yard pickup for the backup quarterback McCool at the Oregon Mountain 45 in the left hash. And for McCool, that'll be his second carry for 26 yards, and that'll be the 16th first down for the Eagles at the 45. Clock down to 3:36 remaining. Twins left and right. McCool back in shotgun. Has Nelson behind him. Takes a snap of the 50, turns and fires. A curl route, but the receiver wasn't ready for it. Somehow makes the catch. That's Taylor. He was looking ahead. He somehow felt that football around him and turned around and caught it. So Jaden Taylor, that could have been a pickoff for Oregon Mountain. Their cornerback wasn't up quick enough to make that INT, but boy, Taylor got away with one on that one.
Man, great skills right there, you know, because for you to not be looking at the ball and still be able to catch it, I mean, I don't know how, but he was able to make that play out of it, so that was a great catch right there.
So 4-yard pickup, 2nd down and 6 now from the 41-yard line of Oregon Mountain on the right hash. Twins left and right. Back in shotgun is McCool again. Has Nelson back behind him. Good snap. Hand off to Nelson up the middle. Is met in the line of scrimmage. It actually dropped for a yard loss on that one. Good big lineman coming through that time to put a big arm paw on him and dropping him to the turf. That player for Oregon Mountain looked like Ryan Porter, defensive tackle. -1 for Nelson on that one. He's got 3 carries for 4 yards. Brings up a 3rd down and 6 now from the 41. Actually going to say no gain on the play, not a minus on that one. He did get some forward progress. Down to 2:15 remaining. Twins left and right. McCool with the shotgun back behind the 45. Takes a good snap, turns and fires, a comeback route, caught near the line of scrimmage and lunging forward. Be a 2-yard pickup. As coming up with a snag that time for the Eagles. New receiver in the ball game. It says number 17. I don't think we have that one. Actually, that might have been Brian Estrada out there. Yep, that is Estrada, number 12, not 17. His first catch for 2 yards. And now a 4th down and 4 for the Eagles at the Knights 39. Clock is stopped with a timeout on the field. And looking ahead to next week's game against Carlsbad, of course, they do play Las Cruces tomorrow night in Carlsbad. That would be a nice little pickoff there of an 8-0 team. But if that doesn't happen, they're fighting for their lives in terms of the playoffs as they sit currently at number 10. 12 teams make it to the playoffs. Alamogordo at number 12. Now, that doesn't mean those teams will end up in those spots, but Carlsbad wants to make sure they at least get a playoff spot. They would have to travel the first week. That's a big game, and that's at Hobbs, Halloween night. Fans need to come out in droves to keep the Eagles with the last win there to continue to hold on to that at least 3rd spot for the playoffs, which would give them a bye in the first round and a home game in round 2.
Yeah, most definitely you want to be able to come out for your team on Halloween night to be able to give them that spirit and that fire for coming out on the last game of the season.
4th down and 4 from the 39 Eagle football. Twins left and right, shotgun to McCool. 3-step drop, steps up in the pocket. He's going to get stopped and dropped at the 45. He'll lose a bunch of yards, 6- on that one for McCool. And that's going to be a turnover on downs as well for the Eagles. They're second in the ball game and give Organ Mountain the football at their own 45, but only 1:48 remaining. The clock will continue to run with the mercy roll as Hobbs leads by 39. So Organ Mountain with their last hurrah here, their last game of the season, I should mention too. This is their last district game. It was senior night here at the Field of Dreams. The squad will not have a playoff game and will finish the season at 2-8, 0-6 in the district. They're looking to the sideline now. Looks like they might have a new quarterback out there. That's going to be Jerry Tejas, a sophomore, youngster out there now for the Knights.
And I see they bringing out a lot of younger ones and, secondaries out there to give them some play time. So I love to see kids come out there, step up, and get that action time.
Twins left and right. A bad snap. He fumbles it, does Tejas, picks it up 40, 45 near sideline to the right hash, and then falls forward for a couple extra. That's going to be Tejas for 4 off the fumbled snap and pickup. So he saved it from being a turnover or a big loss in the backfield. 2nd down and 6 now from their own 48 for Organ Mountain on the right hash. 1:25 and ticket in this ball game. Receivers scrambling quickly. Twins left and right. Tejas back in shotgun as a man behind him. Another low snap. Delay handoff around the right end to the 50 and into Hobbs territory at the 48. Looks like a 4-yard pickup. That's coming across the midfield stripe, Alex Venegas. Venegas gets 4. He's got 3 for 8 now. Reset at the Eagle 48. 3rd down and 3 now for Organ Mountain on the right hash. Clock down to 55 seconds remaining. Twins left and right. Shotgun to Tejas. Go right back to Venegas. Straight forward and close to the 1st down. Kind of stumbled forward that time. Needed to get to the 45. Needed 3 yards. I think they might said his knee went down barely short of the 1st. They'll give him 3 for Tejas or Venegas. So it's going to be 4th and 1. From the 46, shotgun to Tejas, gives it Venegas again, straight up the middle, breaks one tackle, spins at the 40, tries to backpedal. He does get the 1st down, and ended up with 6 for Venegas.
Man, and that right there, that'll do it.
Yep, that's going to keep the clock running with 10 seconds remaining. One last play, a 1st and 10. That was their 15th first down. Tejas will hand it off up the gut and dragging a pile with him up the middle is Osvaldo Aras. And Aras is going to get 4 yards to end this ball game. That will end it up at 51-12. Your Hobbs Eagles with 39-point win here at the Field of Dreams in Las Cruces. As that will drop Organ Mountain to 2-8, 0-6 in district. Eagles improved to 7-2 and 4-1 in the district. 1 game remaining against Carlsbad and Hobbs next week. We'll take a 3.5-minute break here at the Field of Dreams. Come back with the Hobbs Eagle postgame show on Cool 95.7 on the radio, YouTube, HobbsAmerica.com, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page on the internet. Back live here at the Field of Dreams is your Hobbs Eagles winning 51-12 over Oregon Mountain. So mercy roll victory for the Eagles by 39 in this one, as Hobbs improves their record to 7-2 overall, 4-1 in district. Oregon Mountain drops their final game 2-8 and 0-6 in district. So impressive win for the Hobbs Eagles in this one. In fact, if you look at the scoring in this game, Sovereign, Hobbs had the first 4 scores, 3 of those touchdowns and a field goal. Oregon Mountain got 1 score in the second quarter with 10 seconds left. Hobbs added a 75-yard kickoff return from Justice French to finish up the scoring at halftime 30-6. Then the Eagles scored the next 3 touchdowns, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and then Oregon Mountain the final score of the ball game. But Eagle dominating from the start. They were up early, 23-0 at the half.
Yes, man, they definitely dominated this game, was moving up the field greatly, and definitely got some things going on to get some few yards from the passing game. A lot of great things from Madrano in the rushing game, and also with Seamus too as well. And then again, you got to clap it up for the defense. The defense made a lot of stops, got a lot of things going for the offense to come back out to be able to make plays and a couple plays there. And so, man, it's just been a great game, and they most definitely pushed it forward.
Of course, Blackman had an interception as the sophomore linebacker for the Eagles. Garcia actually had 2 INTs. One was called off because of a foul on the Eagles before the interception, but then he came back and got another one in the second half. And a blocked field goal by Javen Hernandez, too. So a lot of good defensive plays and special teams looks for the Eagles. And, of course, the other special teams play, we mentioned Justice French's 75-yard return for a touchdown.
Yeah, most definitely. Great return by Justice French. I mean, got up there. And then you always got to be able to thank the blockers, too, man, for making that way open for him. And he took that route where the open hole was for him, and he made a touchdown with it. And, again, with the defense, they improved a lot, man. You had Hernandez right there at the right place at the right time. You had Garcia, have some interceptions in his hand. And, man, it's just been great overall.
Let's look at the numbers, first of all, for Oregon Mountain in a losing cause tonight. Aris was the leading rusher, 8 for 53 in the game. It was also Gonzalez, 11 for 26, the quarterback, so kind of low numbers for him. Didn't have any double-digit runs in this game. Avila, 5 of 32 in the running department. Other rushers in this one, Tejas, who came in late, 1 for 4. Alibas was the actual lineman that got a pitch off a hook and ladder. He had a rush for 1 yard and a touchdown, so that was his only run of the ball game. Also, it was Jones, 3 for -1 in the contest. Vargas, 5 for 19. And one other player was the receiver Ware, went in a reverse, 1 for 4 yards. Running department tonight, 134 yards for Oregon Mountain in the losing cause. In the passing game, they were 12 of 25 for 122. Jones had a catch for 4. Aris had 2 catches for 13. It was Ware with 4 catches for 64, including a 14-yard reception for a touchdown. Rivera had 3 catches for 27, and Avila 2 for 14. Again, that was 12 for 25 for 122. Unofficially, it was Oregon Mountain 256 total offense in this ball game. They had 15 first downs in the contest as well. Pretty quiet in penalties in top of that. They had 4 for 40 yards in this ball game, so that was one area where they were kind of clean in the contest. They had a couple of punts and gave up 2 interceptions and a blocked field goal in this game.
Yeah, they most definitely had a fighting game tonight. Just couldn't quite get to the end zone too much in this game. Great with the passing game. They did a lot of running up the middle and everything like that. Had some great running backs, was able to get up the field a little bit and make a couple plays. Fortunately, again, couldn't quite get to the end zone a lot. But, I mean, I give it up for Oregon Mountain, man. They had a great couple plays, did a lot of things, got a lot of first down. They was able to make that and make some plays there. And so they did great overall.
Looking at the Hobbs Eagles side of the coin, triple digits again for Madrano in the rushing game. 9 carries for 167 yards, 132 of that in the first half. He also added 2 rushing touchdowns, 34 and 13 yards. Had other carries, too, of 22, 31, 22, 14. I mean, this kid was all double digits, it seemed like. In fact, only 2 of his rushes were not double digits, 9 and 2. Everything else, 7 of his 9 were double-digit rushes. So big numbers for him. The quarterback continues to add on to his totals throughout the season. Definitely a dual-threat quarterback. Seamus Wright, 7 carries for 95, just shy of the century mark. He added 2 rushing touchdowns of 2 and 33 yards. DeMarcus Hill had 7 carries for 37 yards. He got a score in the second half from 13 yards out. So lots of guys stepping up for the Eagles in this one. Also had the backup quarterback McCool, 3 carries for 8 yards. Nelson coming out of the backfield, 3 for 5, and Taylor, 1 rush for 2 yards. So a total of 6 different rushers in this ball game in different degrees. The Eagles finish up unofficially 314 yards rushing in the contest.
Yes, man. It was a great rushing game tonight. Great things about Madrano, great things about running back and everything, and great throws too as well. But the rushing game, man, was very on point. They had a lot of open field and took advantage of it and made some touchdowns out of it and made some yards out of it. So, man, I see some great things on the rushing side of it.
Eagles, in converting on the passing game, they were 9 of 19 in the contest. Had Taylor catch 1 for 6. Beatty had only 1 catch for 13. Of course, he's kicking some PATs for the Eagles' cause. French, 3 for 37, including a 24-yarder. Mora had the big touchdown reception tonight for 77 yards. He was 2 of 88 in receptions in this game. Estrada had 1 catch for 2. Taylor, 1 catch for 4 yards. And last but not least, it was Hill, 1 catch for 5 yards. Again, 9 of 19 in this game for the Hobbs Eagles, 155 yards in receptions. Total offense unofficially 469, and pretty close to what the Eagles got last week against Clovis.
Yes, man. A little bit more, from the previous game. I've seen a lot with the passing game. It's intensifying and it's growing a little bit, and I've seen a lot of catches. And man, Madrano was definitely looking for his receivers this game, and that's what I like to see about him. And again, man, it was a great game overall.
Let me clean up my numbers just a little bit here. Hobbs 10 of 20 in the passing game for 155, and I should say Taylor, I said him twice. He was 2 for 10 in receptions as a receiver for the Eagles. Hobbs had a total of 16 first downs in this contest, and that's compared to 15 for Oregon Mountain, but yet still win big, 51-12 by 39 points. Eagle penalty situation, not perfect. Again, we've had some issues in the past with that, but they had total of 12 penalties, I should say, and they were going over that 100 mark that happened a couple of times this season, 75, 85, 90. They had 112.5 in terms of penalty yardage in this one. So still, but you got a 39-point win, so what are we complaining about there, right?
That's right.
So that's it for the Eagles in this one, 51-12, the final. Again, very important win, of course, added on to next week's, hopefully against Carlsbad. Currently sitting at number 3 on the Max Preps poll. Las Cruces at number 1, Centennial at number 4, Carlsbad 10, and Alamogordo 12. And those are 5 teams in the district in that playoff mode at this point. But all the teams have at least 1 game tomorrow and then the next week as well. Of course, Carlsbad hooking up with Las Cruces on Friday tomorrow, and then they'll play the Hobbs Eagles next week at Watson Stadium. A very important Halloween matchup for the Eagles. You definitely have to win that game to be in the top 4. There's no question about it.
Yeah, most definitely. Next game is going to be a game. Carlsbad going to come with their head on. They want to be able to, make that spot and be able to get that spot. So, again, Hobbs going to have to come with their heads on next game, which is on the Halloween nights of next Friday. So, you don't want to miss that game. But, again, hey, the game is going to be big next week.
So, again, the Eagles 51-12, the final game next Friday night, 6:45 pregame show. The kickoff going to be at 7 o'clock. We'll have that game right here on Cool 95.7 on the radio, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. We'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle football tonight and throughout the season, and definitely into the playoffs as well, including Lee County State Bank, Eastern New Mexico University, Lasco Construction, NMR Pipeline, the Outlaw Sports Grill, Eunice Pump and Supply, Hobbs Express, JBW Solutions, SunGuard Precision, the Bel Air Bowl, Devon Energy, Badger, Master Plumbers, Forest Tire, TDS, and Divine Energy Services. Thanks to Sovereign, myself, Ty Friend, and back of the station, Evie and Tiffany Stuber. For Hobbs Eagle football tonight, Thursday night football. We'll see you next Friday at 6:45 p.m. on your No Mark broadcasting stations. Have a great one out there.
Very clear.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right, drive safe, guys.
Thank you. Bye.